leaves me for good.
That is right in your wheelhouse, too.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, that's very, very, very
I saw our
good.
friends at Floribama. They chimed in and they said, we've got a stage for you. I talked to them about you last week. They want you to come down, so we just got to figure out a time.
What, I could be number 49 this week?
You could be number 49. 1 in a million.
But they'll put you on that songwriter stage, man. I think you do a great job.
Thank you. Yep. I wish I could. Yeah, definitely. Let's do it.
That's the Floribama Lounge.
Next weekend, Memorial Day weekend, Friday through Sunday, 48 live performances, 6 different stages. They're going to have Miss Memorial Day Bikini Contest coming up Saturday the 25th at 3 o'clock. The Floribama Fishing Rodeo less than a month away. For all of this, to check it out, you can also shop online. Go to Floribama.com.
Give us a thumbs up before you get out of here. Make sure you subscribed on YouTube. For everyone involved in the show, I'm Ryan Brown. Have yourself a great weekend. We'll see you Monday, 9 o'clock.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live will share the latest interviews and videos from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and campuses all over the college landscape. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Live Daily Show. Jim, Lance, and Ryan will share their thoughts, and remember, you can always see the old shows on the Next Round Live YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, and don't forget to comment. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. It's Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
You've been wearing that thin, raggedy t-shirt for years now, and people cannot stop whispering and staring in your vicinity. We've all been there. Luckily, there's a solution to your lack of fashion and social cues. At NextRound.store, they have plenty of options when it comes to a variety of shirts and hats. Once you start putting that Next Round gear on, be prepared to make new lifelong friends and hundreds of unforgettable conversations. Hope you like random high fives in the street, because that's what you're getting after visiting NextRound.store.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
The Double Down Media podcast family is live and full of content for all ages. The Mystery Fifth Hour gives the Next Round host a chance to talk about everything but sports. Pour a glass of Bama and Bourbon, our weekly college football conversation, while sipping on some of the most interesting pours in the bourbon world. And in our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, LT takes off the gloves for in-depth conversations with stars like Taylor Hicks, presented by Redmont Vodka. Find these podcasts and more by searching The Next Round on Apple, Spotify, and on our website, nextroundlive.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, we're starting a new hour of the next round. In fact, a whole new week of the next round. He is Lance Taylor. I'm Ryan Brown. Dunaway's golf vacation wrapping up today. Rockstar is back off the road. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina is where you were, about 8 hours ago?
I did. We were at the Carolina Opry in Myrtle Beach doing which show? We did Rumors last night.
Okay.
A random one-off on a Sunday night is not ideal.
Good crowd?
That was all right. Just very, very tired.
So is it just natural reaction? Like, do you even have to audition anymore for that? Not audition. Do you guys even have to?
No. Well, what's hard is we had to go to Montgomery Saturday night because they're doing Prince. They've been touring on Prince right now, and like 6 of the members of that band have to transition to a Fleetwood Mac show, which we haven't played in 11 months.
Yeah.
And so they've done like 6 albums since then, so you have to rehash all your brains. So we rehearsed for about an hour at sound check, and then we were good.
Okay.
Get everything back, but it's just I feel bad for them because they're the ones that have everything is Prince right now in their minds.
Right, and they have to flip over to Rumors
just
now.
for one show.
So you bussed back to Birmingham. You're on the tour bus back to Birmingham from Myrtle Beach. Like I said, it's probably 9 hour drive.
Bus probably 9 hours, 8
probably
9 hours.
8-9 hours, and you slept how much of that time?
2.5 maybe, 2.5.
And that's not good sleep either, right? That's like sleep, wake up, sleep, wake up.
There's some people that in this group that this is their job, and
right.
They know that they get to sleep on the bus till about 9 or 10 a.m. this morning before they have to go to their cars, so they're going to go to bed at 5 a.m.
Yeah, so there was a little party on the bus. Is
It
what
gets
you're
a little
saying.
loud, yeah.
Yeah,
So you
that was your
get a lot of
problem.
sleep. Yeah. Anyway, happy Monday.
But you've learned how to sleep on the bus, though, right?
I put headphones in.
Ambien.
Yeah, I put headphones in and enjoy the ride.
Forrester is here. Tyler, Lunsford, the entire crew here on a Monday. We appreciate you being with us on the next round. And it was a wild weekend. We'll get to your best and worst of the weekend. You could drop them in the chat room. We'll take your calls as well, 205-734-0923, 205-734-0923. If you would like to jump on the phone lines, you can shoot them to us on social media. Your Hemp Hill best and worst of the weekend. Boy, I mean, sports-wise, and I know a lot of times best and worst becomes personal. For us, it will today. Things that happen in our personal life. But sports-wise, it's hard to have a worst. What a freaking weekend, man.
I know, man. I mean, in watching the PGA Championship and just how well those guys were slaying that course on Saturday and Sunday, and what it came down to with DeChambeau and Schauffele yesterday, that was incredible. Multiple Game 7s, really going back to Saturday night with that Game 7, with Dallas ending up winning that game against Oklahoma City. Yeah, it was a fantastic weekend.
It is a, I mean, it's a sad deal for the Knicks. I mean, they just fought so many injuries with the Pacers. And then Jalen Brunson to cap it off. I mean, like once you lose him, you're like, well.
Yeah, the game was over at that point
Yeah.
anyway. But, just icing on the cake for the Knicks, trying to get to their first Eastern Conference Finals in almost a quarter of a century since 2000. And I don't know, man, that Pacers offense is really, really good. I mean, they set an NBA record. They went for 140 plus, I think it was 11 times this year.
Yeah.
That's a lot of points.
That's a lot of points.
And they smoked it. I mean, they shot a playoff record 67% from the field. Game really never was in doubt. But I do think it was just, when you have that many injuries and you're down to basically 7 bodies,
Yeah.
and you're in a 7-game series and you go all the way to Game 7, that's a problem.
Yeah, that is absolutely a problem. There's no doubt about it. So Eastern Conference Finals are set now, and I mean, this on the surface looks to be a really good Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, I mean, look, Boston is a heavy favorite. A little different when we go to the Western side, but, you've got a 6 against a 1, and nobody expected Indiana to get this far. And Indiana does have a hell of an offense, but I would find it hard to believe. I've seen right now the Celtics are like minus 900 in this series.
Minus 900.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird. You've got a 6 seed, and on the other side, you've got a 3 and a 5.
Yeah.
With Denver losing your defending champions, you have now had 5 consecutive defending champions hadn't even gotten to the conference finals. How weird is that?
Yeah, I know. They kept saying that. I'd already heard them say it in this Denver and Minnesota series numerous times. I think Kevin Harlan has said it a lot. And they kept saying it last night that the defending champ hasn't even gotten past the second round in the last 6 years.
Yeah, I mean, we've always heard about, the team that loses the Super Bowl doesn't even make the postseason, which is kind of weird. But, when you're talking about, 7-game series, you're talking about, the sport of basketball. there is not nearly as much shifting around and roster movement as you see. I just that's shocking to me.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's just, especially most of the time, an NBA champion has a dominant player. I mean, when you go back through NBA champs, you get back to like Rockstar's Pistons back in the day that didn't really have like a singular dominant player. They just had a really good team. But I mean, when you start listing NBA champions, they've all got like a transcendent dominant player. Whether it was Kobe back in the day or the Greek Freak or LeBron. I mean, you can just go.
Steph Curry in his prime.
Yeah.
But, Jokic is that guy.
I know, which is what makes it so weird that these teams can't get back to the finals because those guys don't retire. Now, Jokic didn't play an amazing series. He wasn't shooting great from beyond the arc, which, is part of his game.
But when you've got a 20-point lead at home in a Game 7 in the second half, you're 33-8 at home, second best record in the NBA.
No way.
And you blow that? Oh, I mean, that's just, painful, but at the same time, you did win a championship last year. But, boy, that is just, that's one of those just can't get back.
Yep.
And Anthony Edwards was fantastic offensively and defensively down the stretch for the T-Wolves. And it's kind of fun to see new blood, though.
I would agree with you. I mean, this Minnesota team's fun. You know what blew me away last night in that game? First of all, the comeback blew me away. I mean, I did not expect that. It's funny. Dan Wetzel will join us later, national columnist, Yahoo Sports. We talk everything with Dan, but we'll talk some about the NBA playoffs. This particular series, when Minnesota won those first two in Denver, I'm like, series is over. Minnesota's got this thing. I mean, they're going back home, and all they need is 2 wins out of 5 games. And then Denver gets 2 in Minnesota, and you're like, there's Denver again. So now Denver's got the series. And then it gets to a Game 7 after Minnesota gets that win. And you and I talked about it that day. We're like, I still think Denver wins the series. And then Denver's up 20. And I'm like, there's no doubt Denver wins it now.
Yeah, so strange.
I know.
2 straight for the T-Wolves, 3 straight for Denver, and then 2 to end it for the T-Wolves. And they're a fun young team to watch. And, Anthony Edwards has developed in one of the top 5 players probably in this league. And, again, not just on the offensive end, but what he did defensively yesterday against Jamal Murray in the second half was really impressive.
But the thing that blew me away, I don't know if you noticed this. Were you watching with the volume up last night?
No, it was the...
Oh.
Yeah.
And then you're not going to notice this.
I had to finish the Ashley Madison documentary.
I want to hear about that because I'm thinking about starting him. So
that's all I can say.
I'll get back to that in a moment. Yeah. The amount of Minnesota fans that were in that crowd.
Well,
like I know Minnesota and Denver aren't like...
It's probably an hour flight.
Eternities apart. Yeah, I get that. But, I mean, man, there were a lot of Minnesota fans. Like, every big play down the stretch the T-Wolves made, the roar you could hear was just insane.
Yeah, and I will tell you, the last 5 minutes I did have volume
up. So when Anthony Edwards hits that step-back three that basically ended the game, they had the dunk, the steal at midcourt.
I don't know if you know this.
It was Towns that got the dunk, still at midcourt, then Edwards at the 3. I mean, it sounded like they were playing in Minnesota.
I don't know if you know this. Anthony Edwards not afraid to chirp at the crowd.
Not at all. He did the bye-bye, and Jokic did not like that.
No.
Then he did the bye-bye at the same time. Who was it? Was Slimmon that was bouncing the ball to do a dunk, and they broke the dunk up, and Jokic did not like that one bit.
Yeah, I can't believe. That's one of those, somebody takes your legs out.
Like on somebody else's court, too. Yeah, to do it on the road like that.
I mean, you're up 8 with no time on the clock, and you're about to walk off with a dunk.
Yeah, all you got to do is dribble it out. Like, Denver is not defending you. They have waved the white flag. All you got to do is dribble it out. They're going for it.
T-Wolves are going to be favored or are favored right now. I think they're minus 140 or 150 is the series price against Dallas, but I think this will be a hell of a series. I don't see that as much. I think Boston, if Indiana plays their best basketball, I think that thing could go 6.
Wow. But this other one looks like
I think
7.
it at least goes 6.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun series. All right, we'll get to all of that. We got a lot more to get to as we get cranking today. Precision Sports Medicine wants to remind you if you've got that nagging injury, as the weather has gotten better, you've gotten out playing golf, pickleball, basketball, whatever, tennis, and those nagging injuries they crop up. Get them taken care of the right way with Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. 205-212-3885. That's 205-212-3885. PrecisionSportsOrtho.com. PrecisionSportsOrtho.com. Make 2024 your healthy year. Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. You mentioned Xander Schauffele. This is a guy who we don't do this as much anymore. I remember back in the day we used to always do best player without a major. I just don't hear that anymore.
What's that, Schauffele?
Could have been. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
He might be the guy. I don't know who else you'd throw out there.
Well, I mean, this is a guy that's been in the mix. I mean, he's got a runner-up in Augusta. He's got a runner-up in the Open Championship. He's come in third in the U.S. Open, and now he's got a PGA Championship.
Yeah.
So, and he's only 30.
I mean, you got a lot of good players out there, but I think he might have been the best without a major, and it's something that has plagued him. I mean, that's how you're judged in the world of golf. Is what you do in the majors. And as you mentioned, he's in the mix a lot and can't close the deal, and that started to kind of become the storyline yesterday. It's like, how's he going to blow this? And he never did. I mean, to his credit, he got it to the finish line and finally was able to lift a trophy and avoid that playoff for Bryson DeChambeau.
Well, you know, I'm in that golf pool that you used to be in, and we've got the 4 majors and then TPC, and you select the 4 golfers, and it's all based on money, and once you use somebody, you can't use them again. I took a look at Schauffele and reading some of the things, and I told you this last week after he was leading. What did he card a 62 in round 1?
Pretty good.
And going into it, you know, there were dark horse pick, who's a definite top 10, who's going to win it, and who is a guy they have no chance at winning.
Yep.
And I read like 5 or 6 of these, and more than half had Schauffele as the guy that had no chance at winning, and he virtually won this thing wire to wire.
Yeah, and that's when you said, you came back in and you said, all these guys said Schauffele had no chance to win. That should have been my sign to pick him.
Yep. And look, I had DeChambeau was one of my 4 yesterday. It wouldn't have mattered. I mean, this pool has gotten so ridiculous with people able to handicap the winner in each and every event. So tough to do.
Yeah, I'm out of it.
But I can't believe DeChambeau, man. I thought he was, you know, after what? He was so good, 3 years ago? He beefs up, hits it a mile. And
goes to live. You know, he makes the hill. He's a hill, and he kind of embraces it by going to live.
But
right?
I thought his career was pretty much over, and his body's gotten kind of back to a normal body size for a golfer.
And he's rehabbed his image a little bit.
Yeah.
He's rehabbed his image a little bit. Like I sent out, I tweeted.
Doesn't wear the stupid hat all the time.
Yeah, I know,
right?
wear the stupid hat all the time. You heard the crowd behind him yesterday. I tweeted out, retweeted a video from a guy that had sent it out from the course earlier in the day when he's walking off a hole and he tries to flip his golf ball to a little kid. And, you know, some idiot adult reaches out and snatches it in front of the kid. DeChambeau stops in his tracks, turns around, he's still holding his putter, and he's like, hey, stop him, hey. Starts yelling at the guy, I was throwing it to this kid. And the guy comes back and hands the ball to the kid, and DeChambeau walks off. I'm like, the guy's rehabbing his image a little bit.
Is that the ultimate shame move in front of the whole gallery? You got to walk back and hand the ball to the kid?
I wish. Scott, we may come back to this later. I'll give Scott time to find the video. But the dude had run off, Lance. It's like a pick six. Like he had grabbed it and he had run like 20 or 30 yards. And everybody's having to yell at him. And the guy turns around and runs back. I'm like, where was he running?
What a shitbird.
I mean, you just grabbed a ball from a kid and you're running? Where are you going?
Yeah, like I found myself watching yesterday. You sent me a text, hey, do you have any of these guys on the leaderboard? And I said, DeChambeau. And sitting back watching him and that putt on 18, man, you know, to stick it from a little over 10 feet. You know, I thought we were going to see some extra golf yesterday.
Yeah.
But
I did too. I thought it was going to go to a playoff, especially when Schauffele hit his tee shot where he did.
Well, yeah, so that
was a tough shot.
And I was going to ask you this because where you have to actually be in bunker, you're below the ball.
Yep.
Like, how difficult is it to get any power on that second shot when you've got an elevated
You can get
club?
power. The difficult thing is it's going to be a big hook. That's the thing you got to minimize is how much you hook it. Because
And he
the ball's so far above your
overcompensated,
feet.
it looked like.
Yeah, I think he did a little bit. Well, I mean, he's trying to just find mown grass at that point. You just want to make sure you leave yourself a shot where I can get it close. He's given up probably getting it on the green there. So, I mean, it's not an easy shot. He'd rather it have been in the bunker. Like, he'd rather it have just kicked onto the bunker, and you at least got a flat line.
I wanted it under the lip of the bunker. but yeah, I was hoping that he would skull that.
Yeah.
And
under the lip of the bunker.
I got to give Schauffele a lot of credit, man. I mean, that is a pressure hole. You know, I know it's you know, an opportunity to, most people say, easy birdies on that 18, but man, walking up knowing that you've got to have a birdie to avoid extra play.
And then leave yourself a 5-footer. That's a nerve-wracking putt. So he gets the win. The Stallions get the win as well. We'll discuss that in a moment. Dr. B, though, speaking of wins, been a win for me and for Lance.
Oh, I got to tell you, at some point, played my first pickleball, but when I was...
whoa.
Yeah.
Did we do the 9 a.m. game?
We got it pushed to 10.
Okay.
We got it pushed to 10. But when I got out there, talking to some of the guys, one of the guys was like, hey, you know, I support the sponsors, got LASIK done last year, and I'm about to go see Dr. B. And I said,
Heck yeah.
don't wait around. Like, I thought about doing this a couple of years ago or a couple of years before I actually did it. It's been a couple of years now, and I wish I would have done it, because the way it's going to work, you got to be preemptive on this, because you're going to be able to maintain what you've got and grow some back. My hair has more than doubled in thickness, but I don't think I would have any thinness at all if I would have taken care of this a couple of years ago. So I told him, get in front of it. Call Dr. B today, 205-319-0316. Tell him the Next Round sent you. Set up that consultation. For more than 20 years, women and men have turned to Dr. Beckenstein for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use that experience, his advanced training in genetic testing, to help his patients fully understand the procedures they are considering. Call Dr. B today, 205-319-0316, or t3hair.net for more information.
So I have not been able to watch a lot of the UFL. I was not going to be able to attend Saturday night's game, but I did watch a good bit of the fourth quarter there, and it was a Houston Roughnecks team that was the last loss Birmingham had, and you could tell it must be just a good matchup for Houston, because they played them close. When Birmingham plays these teams that are not good, they generally blow them out, and this was a tight game, but the Stallions still get the win.
Yeah, Stallions just don't lose.
They don't.
I mean, it
crazy.
is amazing. I took a look at this. This number was massive. I think it went off at Birmingham 16.5.
Right.
We were 15-4 going into the UFL weekend. We had the under in that game. That was not good. Did have a great weekend in the UFL. 8-2 yesterday, though.
What a
nice
weird,
just
a weird niche you have found that you can really handicap the UFL about as good as anybody.
Well,
or maybe better than anybody.
1-1 yesterday in the UFL, but we did have the under in the Stallions game, and the Roughnecks have been so much better defensively. Not a good offensive team at all. For them to score 28 points on the road on that Stallions defense, pretty impressive.
Yeah. The playoffs, by the way, are set. Everybody is locked in to the playoffs, and it's just basically your four good teams: St. Louis,
Panthers,
San Antonio, Birmingham, and Michigan.
And I guess Birmingham will match up first with San Antonio?
I think that is correct. There's still, St. Louis and San Antonio have the same record.
Yeah, I think if you're Birmingham, the one team you probably don't want to see is the Battlehawks after.
Yeah, you're probably going to have to play them eventually. And probably going to have to play them on their field in the championship game. But that was a team that probably played them about as well as anybody, to your point, is the Battlehawks. So Birmingham gets the 35-28 win, a lot more scoring than you anticipated. Our guy Eric McLean was on the call with our guy Tom Luganville. They were trying to get him to take his shirt off at the end. They had 40, 50 guys in the end zone just all with their shirts off. I don't know if you saw it, but right there in the end zone, 40, 50 guys, from kids to some graybeard dude, all with their shirts off, and they were waving the shirts in the air, and they were trying to get Eric McLean to take his off. He refused to do it. He's like,
I appreciate somebody that doesn't fold the peer pressure, right?
He said, I got a wife at home. She does not want to see me take my shirt off on TV. So I appreciate it.
Well, did he have tie on too?
No. He had gone very sport coat over, I don't know if it was a T-shirt, but crew neck collar.
So it wouldn't have been that much trouble to skin off.
He could have skinned right off if he had wanted to.
Now, did you get to see Luganville? Because I know we talked a couple of weeks ago, and he was like, let's hang out, and we kind of set it up softly, and I never heard from him.
My Saturday was pretty packed. It was going to be tough on Saturday, and I don't know what time he got in town on Fridays. I've noticed Brock's going to be in town in a couple of weeks, but the last time he was in town, he didn't get in until late Friday, and then, they got production meetings and all that Saturday. So
there are the dudes with the shirts off.
I mean, when you say that's probably 40, 50 guys, right?
Yeah.
And they're all shirtless, and I think over the course of the game,
was there a point
the crowd grew. I guess
Bert Kreischer doing halftime?
I don't know. I guess they're just trying to either spice up the crowd or they're just bored. I don't really know. But it grew over. I think it started kind of small, and they were saying on the telecast that little kids were running over there and taking their shirts off. The little kids were begging their mom and dad to run over there and take their shirts off.
I've sadly got to admit, I can remember 2 games I've been at where I had my shirt off.
Do you? So
I can firmly say that I'll never do it again.
Was one of them outfield bleachers, Dodgers or Cubs?
One of them was Dodgers Padres, Dodger Stadium, 1996.
Were you in the outfield bleachers?
I was actually third base side.
Third base side, but you just wanted to catch some rays.
Yeah, I just wanted to catch some rays. Everybody else was doing it. Had a couple of beers. I was in my just barely legal.
Yeah,
if you want to call it that. And then the other time was the year before. Radio equipment wasn't working. We were in St. Joseph's, Missouri. So for St. Joseph's Elkhart, I I sat third base side again.
There was no broadcast that day.
Yeah,
so,
just shirt, nobody in the crowd, just hanging out, getting some rays.
Get some rays.
Have you ever done a shirtless game?
I've never done a shirtless game that I can remember.
Good for you.
No, I don't think I have. Shirtless is normally for me reserved at pool, beach,
as
lake,
it should be.
whatever. The normal shirtless places. Rarely do I go shirtless.
Like what are the 2 times I've been thrown out of the floor? Bama was a shirtless moment.
Yep. I've
get you beat, man.
No, that's automatic right there, Rockstar. That's one of their rules.
Yeah, they don't like that.
Weird thing I
didn't realize that. I was like,
Yeah.
and so again, I was maybe 19 or 20 when that happened, fake ID, and I was like, I don't get y'all's policy. Like, why would you care if somebody's got their shirt off?
Yeah, I mean, you're literally right there on the beach.
Yeah.
That is one of their policies. I'm sure it goes back to a good reason.
There's got to be.
But I've always wondered about that one because literally you can walk right up from the beach into the floor of Bama.
Yeah,
You
it's not
talking
like
about this place with all these brawls?
I mean, it
Yeah.
really
Want me to
doesn't
take my
add
shirt
up.
off?
It is, as much as we love the Bama, a little
Yeah.
hypocritical that these girls can show their racks on the stage with Big Earl and I skin off late night after too many
Steve
bushwhackers.
says likely a health code situation there in the chat room is what Steve says. Sterling, you want to go to Sterling? Let's go to Sterling before we take our first break here. Welcome in, Sterling. How are you today?
Hey, what's up, fellas?
Not much. You good?
Doing well. Had a question. I know sometimes you guys talk about ratings on different sporting events. So is the NBA worried to death that a Minnesota-Indiana matchup is going to have horrible ratings? And this is while they are negotiating their new contract.
Yeah.
So who is NBC and TNT?
Yeah. So a couple quick things on
Yeah,
that.
it is an interesting point because we went back to conspiracy theories at round one.
Yep. But those conspiracy theories all favored New York, and New York did not win, obviously.
Well, it's a little bit closer at this point.
I think they can salvage this with Boston and whoever. I think Dallas or the T-Wolves, because you've got stars on both sides of that matchup at least. Pacers get into this thing, it is a disaster.
Yeah, to your point, Minnesota and Indiana is probably not, if they're depending on Minneapolis and Indianapolis to drive the needle, that's probably not great. Now, the other side of that, though, Sterling, is Bill Simmons is adamant that the deal is already done. The NBA just hasn't announced it out of respect for TNT while they've got playoff games, but the deal is signed, done, it's over.
And Sterling, I kind of believe that myself.
Yeah, but the NBA is just giving TNT a little respect while TNT is still doing games. But the minute TNT is finished doing games, which I believe will be the conference finals, and then it goes to ESPN, the announcement will be made that NBC is taking over.
So do you guys think Barkley moves to NBC if they go that route?
I don't know. Charles on our show at least 4 or 5 times has announced his retirement, so I never know when Charles is actually going to retire.
Yeah, he seems like he's having a lot of fun, but he said 60 was the number. He's past the 60 number, and this is that kind of thing that could possibly push him to retirement. But I don't think he wants to right now.
But Sterling, I am confident NBC will throw the bag at him.
Oh yeah, you've got to.
Yeah, I mean, I think NBC knows if they're taking over TNT, the thing TNT is most known for is that entertaining halftime show, and they can't recreate that. But adding Barkley would give them a little pop,
Well, sounds good. Well, fellas, I appreciate your time, and we'll have to get some chicken over for you guys.
Come on,
here soon.
Yeah,
bring it
whenever you
anytime.
want, buddy.
Thank you, Sterling. Take care, buddy. Or Sterling, everybody from Champions.
Yeah, but 11 o'clock hour brought to you by our friends.
That's right. That's right. Bill Simmons has reported that, though. He has said it on his podcast. I don't know if I would call it reporting or what, but he is adamant on his podcast. This deal is done, and they are just giving TNT a courtesy to let them finish out.
It makes the most sense.
It really does.
Yeah, I mean, if you're the NBA, you want to get it done because you don't want a situation like the Pacers in the finals, just in case it did possibly impact the price.
Yep.
Because Pacers being in the finals will impact those numbers.
I mean, if it's Pacers T-Wolves, it will be one of your lower-rated finals, even though it could be exceedingly entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
There are just a lot of people that don't know it's going to be entertaining, so they don't ever give it a chance. They just dive out. All right, so we got a lot to get to on the show today. The University of Montevallo bringing you part of the show, the Fighting Dunaways, all 3/4 of them Montevallo educated. And you can as well, montevallo.edu, a great value. You can go ahead and get that in-person tour or the virtual tour right there at montevallo.edu. If your graduating son or daughter is still looking for a college campus, or if they're an upcoming senior and they're looking for a campus, go look at one of the most beautiful campuses you'll see anywhere in the South. Montevallo.edu, the University of Montevallo, where you belong, montevallo.edu. All right, we're going to do our best and worst of the weekend when we return. A bunch of you have already weighed in. We'll get to those. Lance has teased me with his. One of the great battles we've had with Lance versus technology, Lance versus neighbor's leaf blower, and now we have a new opponent in the game, I believe. Lance versus something else.
But it involves number 2.
Uh-oh. Leaf blower. Leaf blower is back. I thought he had disappeared for a little bit.
I will tell you this. I did not know this, but leaf blower knows my name.
Oh.
This is taking a change of direction.
We have a development.
Yeah.
The leaf blower story. I cannot wait to hear this now. We will do that at best and worst of the weekend when we return. It is the next round.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
Take TNR on the go with a podcast built for your satisfaction. Miss Hour 1? Find it in podcast form. Miss Hour 2? Stream it now. Miss Hour 3? Download it for later. Miss Hour 4? Well, just know it's never coming back. Listen to TNR wherever you find podcasts.
Let's face it, a home is one of the most powerful assets you can have, and our friends at Mortgage Right want to help you build wealth through home ownership. Mortgage Right is all about providing competitive rates, a variety of loan products, and a multitude of resources for a seamless home buying experience. They treat their borrowers like family and are always looking to bring more happy homeowners under their roof. See more by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR today and start living. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, equal housing lender.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Maybe you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or TikTok. While we're changing the game yet again, Tyler's Telegrams has been developed exclusively for you.
Hi, this is the lovable boy you know as Tyler the Intern. I'm a businessman now. I will come directly to your door and tell you every time a new piece of TNR content drops. For the low, low price of $740,000, you can be notified by me, one of the biggest stars of the Next Round, about that thing you missed. Sure, the rest of those social media services are free, but so is radio, and we all know how well that's trending.
Tyler's Telegrams is currently operating exclusively in Bibb County. Other social media platforms are available everywhere.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
All right, we're about to get to your best and worst of the weekend, and we'll circle back to a lot of what went on this weekend. We've got our 40 and 40 presented by mybookie.ag. We go to a group of 5 team very quickly here in the 40 and 40. So we'll discuss that coming up just a little bit as well. 4 downs and trash. Dan Wetzel going to join us just a little bit. So we've got all that to get to. Before we get to our best and worst of the weekend presented by Hemp Hill Hydrolife, bringing you part of the show today.
Yeah, look, make sure you are fully hydrated coming off a long weekend. Maybe you've been playing golf, pickleball, tennis, whatever, just laying out in the sun. IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, compression therapy, all under one roof. You can boost your immune system with Hydrolife therapy. IV therapy treatments are packed with nutrients to increase energy, reduce stress and anxiety, boost your immune system, and much more. Members rewarded with deep discounts. Save up to 50% off regular pricing for all services. Plus, receive one free IV bag per month. Ask about that membership when you're in one of those two locations, the original in Homewood, now Highway 119 in Hoover, the Greystone area. They're open 9 to 6. Every single day. For more information, hydrolifetherapy.com. And remember, when you're in one of those great locations of Hydrolife, tell them the next round sent you 20% off any of your services.
Is pickleball part of your best and worst?
Yeah, it would be part of my best.
So we'll come back to that. Is the Ashley Madison documentary part of your best or worst?
I wouldn't put it part of my best or worst, but it was entertaining.
So it's how many parts is it?
3 parts.
3 parts. Scott has watched the first 2. He said Scott, am I overstating the fact that you thought it was fantastic? Is that an overstatement for Scott, that I thought it was fantastic? Sorry, Scott.
It was really good. It's really well done. I've watched the whole thing now.
Yeah, I thought
you've watched all 3 as well.
Yep.
I don't want to give anything away, Scotty, but there were 2 curveballs, coming up late in the second and then the third that were really interesting. And then I was fascinated. Can't really talk about it because I don't want to give anything away. But I agree with you. It's Dell. I would give it a solid B. Well worth the watch.
Okay.
And I went back and pulled the Alabama list last night. I just can't believe how much information they gave out on people.
I know.
I can't believe there were, what was it, 37 million users?
Did you know the number 1 location in the world was Alabama?
Hell yes.
Yeah.
I mean, we win national championship and everything.
It's crazy. Alabama was number 1. I think the District of Columbia was 2.
Yeah.
But Alabama, when you look at the chart, and there's charts available, Alabama by far blew it away. Probably not something to be proud of.
Probably not, but it's worth the watch. Then 3 episodes worth the watch. I heard there's a huge curveball at the end of episode 2. That's what a lot of people in the chat room are saying.
Well, look, at the end of episode 1, I was like, I don't know if I want to keep watching this. And then they hit you with that cliffhanger, and I'm like, damn. And I told you it was like 11 o'clock on Thursday night. So I didn't watch it again until last night, but I watched both parts 2 and 3. Again, solid B. I think even if you don't know the story, you're going to be like, oh, my God. And if you remember the story, you're not going to remember it like this.
Okay. Yeah. I'm in. That's on Netflix?
Netflix, yes.
And Bridgerton is back out. So this week I'm going to watch
Ashley
Madison and Bridgerton. I will need an extra shower or 2, Rockstar, before I come in.
I haven't seen the episode of Bridgerton yet, but I did see, they came up with the name of Ashley Madison.
I don't.
It was the 2 most popular female names at the time.
Ashley and Madison?
Oh, yeah. I think they talk about that in the documentary.
Crazy.
So you haven't seen it yet?
I've seen a little bit of the first one. Tried to watch it on the bus and then fell asleep.
It is... you're going to feel filthy afterwards just because some of the people that were involved in some of the things that happened.
I do like the Elton John kind of character, the fat guy with the glasses. He's awesome.
Yep. He is. He's pretty much your main narrator the entire time.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna give it a run. And
I'll just tell you this: there's this couple that's on there pretty much the entire time, and they're one of those vlogger couples, influencers, whatever you want to call them. So obnoxious.
Yes. The couple is obnoxious.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It takes some turns.
Does it? Okay. No, you've sold me on this. I cannot wait. Roberts, best and worst. Best and worst presented by Hemp Hill. The PGA and majors continue to be fantastic. Ricky Stenhouse versus Kyle Busch. Scott has video of this. Have you seen this?
No, I've not.
2 people who have been on the show before. These are show guests. Ricky Stenhouse versus Kyle Busch. Arguing after the race. As you can see, Stenhouse, if you're watching us, already in his street clothes. Busch still in the uniform, so the wreck, I believe, knocked Stenhouse out of the race. And boom! Stenhouse with the right hook on Kyle Busch. And then a all-out melee. Busch into the tires.
Dude, I had
melee in the
no
pits.
idea.
Yes. And then, Scott, is that Stenhouse's dad that jumps in this thing?
Yeah, that's my understanding is that is Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s dad.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s dad in this. Kyle Busch going after him.
Boy, Kyle Busch needs his guys need to back him up a little bit more, man. He's getting thrown around. I was just about to say Stenhouse and Busch, nothing's going to happen here.
Something did. And by the way, this is a massive fight after the Super Bowl of racing, the Daytona 500, right? No, Lance, this is the All-Star race. It's not even a points race, is it?
Is this Pete Rose running over Ray Fosse?
Yes.
Or whoever the catcher was?
This is after the All-Star race that they're fighting. This is not even an actual race. This is just an exhibition for the fans. And boy, Stenhouse goes after. He did, didn't he?
Yeah, almost a temple shot.
Yeah.
But that was good awareness to know that he was back on a tire where you just kind of shove him and he's going to topple over the tire.
Yeah, but then the old man
But
in
look
for
at
the
all, like,
fight.
Bush's guys aren't even around.
I know. They did hang him out to dry a little bit, didn't
Yep. Dude with a backpack, drop your backpack.
they? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, look at a guy with a backpack still on. He's not doing anything. The Kroger team is all in there, though. I mean, what a wild night. An all-star race.
What kind of fine do these guys get?
I really don't know. You know, it's a fight that put that sport on the map, so they ought to embrace it more.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Troy says. NASCAR needs more of this. They got zero personalities anymore. I kind of agree.
Yep. I mean, look, the NHL, one of the reasons some people watch is for guys to drop the gloves.
Yeah.
But we just need more feuds.
Yeah. Now, as Tom points out, it is an all-star race, but there goes $1 million to the winner. So $1 million is a lot of money.
Yeah.
I get that. His worst of the weekend, Braves getting skull-drugged by the Padres.
We had the Padres last night.
Yes, you did. You had the Padres at Lance's Lock, so you saw something coming. I mean, was there something you saw coming there or just the numbers?
No, I just like the Padres last night.
Yeah. After that series, for what it's worth, we are still not even to the All-Star break. The Braves are 5 games behind the Phillies. I don't know that I envisioned a time this year when the Braves would be 5 back in their division, though.
Well, I think I was having a conversation. It might have been E.G. and Forster a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about the Phillies and where they are, and I was like,
Buster called them the best team in baseball right now.
I was like, I just don't know how good this Phillies team is.
Yeah.
And that was what I was going to bring up. And then we had Buster on last Thursday, and he's like, the best 3 teams in baseball, all National League.
Yep.
And he was like, Braves, Dodgers, and the best team, the Philadelphia Phillies.
That's right.
And I was like, it's a little surprising, but I mean, they are 34-14, 15-6 on the road right now, and their run differential, they're plus 80. I mean, that's only behind the Dodgers right now.
That's it. I mean, they are playing tremendous baseball. They've opened up a 5-game lead on the Braves. The Braves lost 3 straight to the Padres there. It's just was not a great series for them, and you saw some of it coming, obviously. So, look, the Padres 7.5 behind the Dodgers. Not like they're great. They're a 500 team, but they took it to the Braves over the weekend. So, Atlanta trailing right now. Terry on Twitter, his best of the weekend. He says, there's nothing bad at all about this weekend. My best, what an experience of Valhalla. Me and my brother attending the final round. First PGA event ever. We could say we've seen Xander's first major championship. What a weekend.
Well,
it's pretty cool.
You picked a good one to go to, man.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't watch until I think I got home when Xander was on hole 14.
Right.
And so I was just keeping up with my phone. And I was like, the scoring is
It's
just
insane.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
And you wonder what happens to a guy like Koepka had such a bad round 3. And, when you've got golfers that are that good, and I think he bounced back with 6 under yesterday, how can that course play the way it did? I mean, for Schauffele to set what a major record with 21 under. Like, how can you have that good of scoring, but dominant guys can have those bad of days?
It's just, I don't. If you could figure that one out, man, those dominant guys pay you a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's just the way it works.
But it seemed like an easy course. I mean, for those guys.
No. I mean, I think it is set up for scoring. Yeah, it's set up for scoring, but everybody just, has a bad day. Like Scheffler on Saturday, a rare bad day for him. It's the first time in forever he shot over par. I mean, it's just a bad day. Without that, he's right in the mix.
Yep.
I mean, you could make the argument, even though, he bounced back Friday after the arrest and had an excellent round. Saturday, it seemed like it caught up with him a little bit. And his caddy was out. His caddy went to his daughter's graduation.
Shane Lowry was smoking it on Saturday.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
What he was doing.
Well, the cool thing at mybookie.ag, you've got props like who's going to be the low lefty, who's going to be the best scoring, because you could have got a lot of value on Lowry because everybody was on Rory McIlroy for your top scoring Irish guy.
Oh, yeah, top scoring Irishman.
Yeah.
So it was basically Rory versus Shane Lowry.
Yeah. I think there was somebody else in the mix.
There might have been. Padraig Harrington.
I don't know.
But I mean,
anyway,
he
they
would have
had
been
that prop
money.
available.
Yeah, that's interesting. Probably a little lower scoring than I want. I do enjoy scoring. Like you get asked, would you rather have this or the U.S. Open? I'd rather have lower scoring, but this is a little much. You do at least want it to feel like a major, not the Travelers Championship.
Right.
And this kind of felt like the Travelers Championship a little bit. No offense to the Travelers Championship.
I mean, did you know it was over when Schauffele got on 18? I mean, I know you said after that tee shot, but I'm talking about when he was rolling up to 18, knowing that all he needed was a birdie to win.
Yeah, I thought knowing all he needed is a birdie, but then once he hits the tee shot, and then he leaves himself that pitch shot, and then he leaves himself a 5-footer. That's at a pressure-packed 5-footer, and he snuck it in the side door.
Do you think Shopley was trying to go eagle on 18, or you think he was just, hey, I want to get birdie, let's tie this thing up, put the pressure on Shopley?
I would hope he was playing for birdie, yeah. I mean, I would hope so. I mean, I would hope he's looking at the scoreboard and knows all he needs is a birdie. Bobby's best.
He needed an eagle, by the way.
Bobby's best of the weekend. My chubby kid got an inside park home run after smoking a rocket to center and clocked a kid in the nose after a bad hop knocked the kid out of the game. Dang, son. That is it's a tough way to get an inside the park home run, but it all counts. Chris's best of the weekend. Paul Skeen's second start strikes out 11 Cubs. Did not get to see it. I saw some highlights.
Yeah, the first 11 Cubs he faced.
Yeah.
Was that not it? Didn't he not strike out?
I didn't catch that part of it. I just saw the highlights. First 11 he faced, he struck out.
Or maybe the first 7 he faced.
Yeah.
Maybe it was first
7.
7.
11 straight strikeouts.
Yeah, I think it was
a lot.
first 7. Let me go back and check this out. Because, that was I mean, that kid's going to be ridiculous.
He is. As you do that, by the way, Walker, back to the NBA playoffs. Biggest value in betting will be the Mavericks beating Minnesota. Everybody on the Anthony Edwards train. We'll come back to that. Troy was also at Valhalla this weekend. A couple of our audience members at Valhalla. So many damn people, he says. It did seem to be a big crowd. They cram a lot of people in there. Rusty says, would it be surprised if PGA doesn't go back to Louisville for a while after everything that happened? I would normally agree with you on that, Rusty. But for whatever reason, the PGA of America loves this venue. This is probably their favorite venue. I think they, excuse me, I think they've already announced the next 4. So it'll be a while before they go back, but they'll go back there.
Oh, look, I thought the crowd was great. I thought it was an exciting event. The scoring, as you said, was a little out of whack. But I thought how competitive it was, how many guys were in the mix. I mean, you did have the dust-up, obviously, Friday morning that kind of stole the tournament, but it seemed like things really settled down over the weekend.
They did.
So Skeens struck out his first 7 Cubs, struck out 11 over 6 no-hit innings, only second major league start. Here's the interesting thing. Struck out first 7, including the side in the first on pitches of at least 100 miles per hour.
Woo! So that ain't bad. I mean, his debut wasn't, like, amazing.
But there were amazing moments.
Yeah, you saw signs. His second start, that's really, really good. It's always interesting that once those teams get a second shot at a pitcher to see what they do.
And it was same team, too.
Yeah.
So first 2 starts, interestingly, came a week apart against the Cubs.
Yeah, absolutely. Hemp bringing us the best and worst of the weekend.
Yeah, make sure that unit is ready to keep up with this changing weather. 205-229-2090. That is the number you need to call. I actually had to call them over the weekend. Had some leakage through the living room. It was coming from the upstairs shower. So I had to call those guys. Seems like I'm calling them once a month. But whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
Michael's best. Don't know if his best or his worst, but he says it's his best. We had a graduation party for our ring bearer. Means I'm getting old. Wow. Yeah, once the ring bearer graduates.
Were you ever? I was a ring bearer in one wedding.
I was in my aunt's wedding that eventually got annulled.
Yeah, it was my aunt's wedding. And
did it also get annulled?
It did not. Did not. Her husband, former pilot, sadly passed away a couple of years ago. Heart attack.
That is unfortunate.
Yeah. A long time ago.
I clearly did not
but
do
I
a
remember
good job delivering the rings.
Guess what they gave me for my groomsman present?
What was that?
A Ram sweatshirt.
Did they really? Yeah. That's a thoughtful present.
Yeah. It was 1980.
You been a ring bearer, Rockstar?
I don't know. No.
I mean, I think that's the only time I did it. And I think I was the ring bearer. I know I was in the wedding, but I was very, very young. This would have been, I think it was 86.
Yeah.
So. Maybe I wasn't. I don't know.
My wedding days are obviously behind me, but when you're in your 20s and you got a lot of friends getting married, I see my fair share of weddings.
Forrester said one of their flower girls married Will Reichard, NFL player now, Scott.
Wow.
So your flower girl's married to an NFL player. Patrick says, and he knows the history of the show clearly better than a Mark Bulger jersey. You would not accept the Mark Bulger jersey.
Did not want the Bulger. Bulger probably, if I did he's definitely a top 10 Ram quarterback of all time. I don't know if he gets into the top 5.
Matthew says, what's better, Paul Skeen's pitching or Paul Skeen's girlfriend? Paulski's girlfriend, for those who don't know, Livy Dunn, a internet superstar, social media superstar, LSU gymnast.
I would rather have his ability to pitch.
That's right. You make a lot of money with that.
You can find a lot of Livy Dunns.
Yep. Jay Mose, his best of the weekend. Bryson DeChambeau getting the ball back from the guy who snagged it from the kid. His worst, Scotty's fall off after Friday events. All right, so Forrester has the video of the double back by DeChambeau to get the ball back for the guy that grabs it. We brought it up earlier. And so basically, DeChambeau, if you're watching, you can see this. He's walking off the green. He's going to toss it to a kid. Guy grabs it. DeChambeau sees it. The guy grabs it, goes to kneel. Now, I want you to look how far the guy has run with the ball. When the camera pans to the left, he's all the way out that gate. Has to come running back in a walk of shame and hand the ball to the kid.
Again, Wild West, somebody shoots him in the back, takes the ball and hands it to the kid. I mean, you know you're doing something wrong if you're running off.
Of course he is. Where's he going?
And what's he going to do with that ball?
I know. I mean,
I got a ball in Valhalla that was meant for an 8-year-old.
Yeah, look at the poor little kid. I applaud DeChambeau for this. This is the way it's done right there. And
I think this is, if that guy, same thing, snatching a purse or taking the ball from the kid, I think whoever's around him should tackle him.
Yeah, and as Brody says, Bryson was legit pissed. He absolutely was. He should have been, and this is the right thing to do, and I applaud Bryson DeChambeau. I'm telling you, man, he's recreated his image.
I was going to say, watching him this weekend, it seems like a different person.
It really does, and the crowd was behind him. He was not a villain.
Yeah,
they were cheering heavily for him.
Obviously I had skin in the game, but I was pulling for DeChambeau yesterday. It was nice to see Shoffley get that first win. Shoffley's listed at 5'10", 175 pounds. There is no way.
He ain't 5'10".
I was thinking when he was walking up to 18 yesterday, I was like, I think he's like 5'5", 5'6", probably 140 pounds.
Because Morikawa can't be any more than 5'5", 5'6" either. And they look about the same height. I mean, I never saw him like standing back to back. Those are two small dudes, though. All right, we'll continue the best and worst. Lance is going to tell his story when we return. Odie's, though, bringing you part of the show. Wednesday night will be trivia.
Yeah, hopefully you had an opportunity to get into one of those two locations of Odie's, enjoy live music all weekend, but you can stop by for lunch today. Rodney Davis doing incredible food for more than 33 years, including award-winning wings, delicious burgers, great sandwiches like that Diablo sandwich, ice-cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light. Stop into one of those two locations today. Go see Will Haver and that great staff. Odie's Tavern, Crestline, and now Edgewood. Get in today.
All right, the best and worst presented by Hemp Hill continues. The leaf blower knows Lance's name. This is a development, and it is next.
Follow Rockstar on Twitter at RockstarBHM.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com. Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with a TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by, ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
All right, we continue the best and worst of the weekend. Royal Payne says Tom Brady was at a UFL game this weekend. He calls that random. I don't know which game it was. I'm assuming it wasn't the one down in Birmingham.
I mean, to get him to a UFL game, I would think you'd have to take him hostage.
I mean, unless I would say he's looking to buy a team, but Fox owns the team, so there would be no like local ownership. Fox and ESPN, so they're owned by Fox, I think, and ESPN. I don't know.
I mean,
that's kind of weird.
Is there a chance?
Well, I mean, he is a Fox employee now, so that might have been the old.
But is there a chance? Hey, look, part of your contract, we'll give you $1 million to help us promote UFL.
Just show up at a game. Woodhouse Day Spa bringing you part of the show before Lance tells us his best and worst of the weekend.
Yeah, hey, treat that special someone to the gift of luxury from Birmingham's best day spa, the Woodhouse Day Spa, located at the Summit Shopping Centers right off of Highway 280. They've got a menu of over 70 options, including massages, body treatment, skincare, waxing, nail services. Woodhouse Day Spa, voted America's best day spa since 2009. You can order that special person gift online. They can ship it to them. They can ship it to you. Go to birmingham.woodhousespas.com. That's birmingham.woodhousespas.com. Or get in, see Stewart and all the fine folks up there, and tell them the Next Round sent you.
Scott, of course, had the photo as quick as he possibly could at Michigan. He was on the sidelines of the Michigan game, Tom Brady, a dapper Tom Brady on the sidelines of the Michigan game where he played his
definitely part of the Fox contract.
Yeah, played his college ball, went back to Michigan.
I don't think he's going to be as good as people think he's going to be.
Do you? Oh, on Fox? Yeah, I don't either. Yeah. But do you think if he just put on a uniform, he would immediately be the best quarterback in that league? Like he has not taken a snap in what now? 2 years? A year and a half?
Like without like any reps at all?
Yep. I mean, he just like the Michigan kid got hurt, and they're like, Tom, go get on a uniform. Fox owns the league. We do whatever we want. You don't think so?
I don't know. I mean, if you hadn't done something in a while, I mean, this will get to my pickleball this weekend.
Okay, well, let's do your best and worst of the weekend. Here we go. Best and worst of the weekend. It includes the leaf blower that now knows Lance's name. How we found that out, I don't even know.
Okay, so the best of the weekend just was the overall weekend. Got to spend time, a lot of people, got to be outside doing a lot of things, a lot of swimming, played my first pickleball. Thanks to Greg. I think the guy's name that was his house. This dude's a bachelor.
Okay.
So the guy that invited me over, and Maddie was like, you're really going to some guy's house you don't know? And I'm like,
that's the only way you get to know him.
I mean, I'm like, I don't think it's that big of a deal. The guy listens to the show. So he invited me. I thought it was his house. It's his buddy's house. This single dude has built a pickleball court right by his pool in his backyard. I'm like, this is the perfect setup for the Beer Olympics.
Oh, interesting.
And he's like, I know it's not. Liability. But anyway, I went out there. Nice guys, played 3 games of pickleball, got in a little sweat. You're moving nonstop. It's not like you're exerting yourself.
Right.
But, playing in 80 degrees when there's a lot of humidity, I got a good sweat in.
Yeah, you think you'll play again? You enjoyed the game?
Yeah, I think I will. I don't know if I enjoy it to the level that Greg and those guys did.
Right.
I mean, Greg was the one that wanted me to play at 7 a.m. And I was like, man, I'm sorry I threw your schedule off. He's like, no, I already played from 7 to 9 today. So
oh, my gosh.
Played from 7 to 9, and then they were playing again. Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah,
well, he's dedicated.
But it was a lot of fun. It really was. But my point there was
you can't do the spike, right? That was the thing you're worried about.
Well, you can do the spike. You just can't get in the kitchen. And so
there's a
line in front that's about 5 feet from the net. And if you were able to stand there, I get it now that after I've played, it would be like you'd have 2 dudes just battling at the net nonstop.
Yeah.
So there is definitely strategy to it when you move up and back. And I picked it up pretty quickly, but my point was going to be, as I get older, now 52 years old, my hand-eye has slowed down a lot. But I did pick it back up, as I got a little deeper in the games.
Okay. All right. But you may be back. We may play a little more.
Yeah, I would play again.
All right, good.
I would even reach out to these guys. Maybe we do some kind of pickleball tournament over there.
Yeah.
I think you guys would like it. Nobody up here has ever played, right?
I have never played pickleball.
Never. I don't think I've ever seen
My
a game.
wife has played. I have never played.
Well, me and Greg got beat by two dudes that weren't wearing shoes. So you can have pretty good. Like we were drinking beer out there. There was a girl, she subbed in and she was playing.
Yeah. So it's very laid back.
Yes, very chill compared to most sports you would play.
Okay.
I would think it's like an easier round of golf. It's just very low key.
Yeah, it's golf if you're just out having a good time with the boys.
Okay, my worst, and this is not the worst, it was just very interesting how this thing played out, but Saturday afternoon after the pickleball, I've got some people over at the pool hanging out.
Right.
We are currently keeping, we've got a friend that is in Bali, and we're keeping her dog.
Yeah, as one does.
Yeah. I guess. I don't know.
Yes.
She's been gone 3 weeks. I mean, come back and get your dog, but... anyway, I've got another dog with my dog. So 3 dogs out there.
So it's an active scene.
And the dude that likes to blow leaves, I guess they've got a dog and we'll let it out every now and then. And so when it gets to the fence, when I've got my 3, they're all barking and going nuts. So I go up to the fence, but I've got these wax myrtles. So there's a lot of coverage right now. So you can't really see through. And I hear Lance. And I look and it's the leaf blower.
Oh, boy.
And I'm like, yeah, what's up? And he's like, hey, have you noticed this dead tree from your yard that is fallen in my yard? And I really did. I was like, oh, damn, yeah, I do see that. And he was like, you've got some other ones that could be a potential problem. And I'm like, I don't know if that one's mine. I was like, I'll get my lot survey out. We can look at it and see where the trees are. But there was one that had partially fallen, and it was sitting there. And, I've heard, well, it's been a long time since I've had to extract trees, but they're expensive.
Oh, yeah, it is not a cheap thing to do.
And so
now, if it's already fallen.
I had just had the leak in the house like an hour before.
Of course, yes.
So I'm sitting
That's
out.
the way those things go.
And my former brother-in-law and his girlfriend are over at the pool.
Right.
Is that random?
As one does.
As one does.
Right.
But I was telling him, and I can't make this up. I was like, dude, you see that tree right there? I was like, I've got to get that extracted. Those other 2 might be mine. I'm not really sure. And he's like, oh, man, tree extraction is really expensive. Right when he said that, some bitch falls.
No, it does not.
Yeah, it did. And I don't know if it caught metal from the dude's fence or not. Like, it was like an explosion. And I was just like, you got to be kidding me. And I didn't go over there because it was kind of the end of the day. And then we had some rain. But I've got to go by. I got to knock on the dude's door today. And if anybody knows tree service, I don't know any tree services, but if we've got one out there, I need some help because I got to extract at least 1 or 2, and I got to get that one chopped up.
I just need to go back to, hey, Lance, the tree thing is interesting. But so the guy, and for those that are new to the show.
An hour later he comes out, it's like hammer to nail. Like that tree would have put him in the ground.
Oh, yeah. For those who have not followed the history of the show, Lance shares basically a backyard with this guy.
Yeah.
You don't share a backyard. Your backyard's...
Yeah, backyard. We've got a creek in between us.
Yes, right.
But, house to house, he's probably 70, 80 yards away.
Right, and he loves to keep a clean backyard, so much so that he blows leaves a lot, and it has driven Lance crazy.
It is his hobby.
Yeah.
I've had 2 interactions. I went over there when we were throwing Bethany's 40th birthday party.
Right.
And I just went to warn them. It's going to be loud. Rockstar's going to be playing. This is years ago. And I remember his wife saying, every time you guys are on your screen, didn't we hear everything you say? I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, it is quite interesting, yes.
And then he was blowing leaves when we were doing mornings one time, and I went to his house, and I pulled up, and I was like, I rolled down the window. I was like, how much longer do you got? And he was like, until I'm done.
Yeah.
So I felt that was probably middle finger to me. So I drove back home, and I haven't talked to him since. And I just figured he doesn't know my name. But
he does.
He does.
Yeah.
He
so
does.
Potentially is a member of the audience?
Potentially.
Yeah?
Potentially.
Or at least has been told?
Yeah, look, and that's his hobby. It just kind of sucks for me. He doesn't blow leaves as much as he did.
So you wonder if word has gotten to him like that?
Maybe. I don't know.
But
the tree falling was, what are the chances of talking about a tree that's been around? How long has this big pine been around that's, I don't know, a couple hundred feet tall?
Yeah, and as you're talking about it, it falls.
It falls.
Yeah. I will say this. I've learned never to underestimate our audience because months ago, This is back last year. I told a story and just went ahead and involved the person in the story because I was like, zero chance they ever watched the show. Zero chance. Less than zero chance they ever watched the show. And then run into that person again, and they bring up something that's happened on the show. So you know what's happening in my mind now.
Yeah. They were watching that segment?
Where they watched that segment. Did not bring it up, but brought up something else on the show. And I'm like, holy crap, you watched the show. In my mind, I'm thinking that.
Yeah, look, I've seen neighbor altercations where a guy throws water on another guy and guys go hands. It's never, like, I'm sure this guy and his wife are really, really nice people. We have a little fun with it. I guess it's his hobby, blowing leaves. But I had no idea the guy knew my name.
Yeah, that is interesting.
But maybe he just looked it up. Maybe he's got one of these neighborhood directories.
Could have.
Maybe he's on the HOA.
Maybe he is. I don't know. Maybe he's called the police and they say, no, we're not going to Lance's house.
Landmine believer, yes. The tree made a big sound. Again, I don't know if it got metal. Mac, my former brother-in-law, said he could hear it catch metal. I tried to look through there. I can't really tell. So I don't know what's waiting for me when I go knock on this guy's door today. But if anybody knows the tree service, shoot it in. Give me a contact. I'll be calling them today because I got to get somebody out.
Boy, I tell you what, I got a lot. I've got several that have texted me right here. There's some in the chat, so surely we can find somebody to link you up with. All right, that's best and worst. I'll come back with mine in just a little bit. When we return, though, we're going to go to our MyBookie 40 and 40, a Group 5 team, making an appearance that's got, I guess, a special connection to our show. That's in the next hour of The Next Round.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at Scott Forrester TV.
The wait is over. Tonale has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonale plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonale offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonale leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonale.
Hey, you. Summer's here. Time to get hot. And at New Balance Birmingham, that's just what we got. For a summertime vibe, see what's inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
You never know what we're up to here at The Next Round. The easiest way to stay in the know with our antics and adventures is to follow The Next Round across all social media platforms at Next Round Live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Whether it's Dunaway sleeping in the studio, Tim and Lunsford breaking down the latest movie release, or Game Day Chronicles, we are here to keep you updated on the latest sports news while, of course, having just a little bit of fun. Follow at Next Round Live across all platforms to join in.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them The Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
When on YouTube, you constantly hear requests to please like and subscribe. Well, here at Disrupt Media, we aren't going to play that game. Those demands are frankly outdated. So we just want you to hit like or subscribe. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure novel. Pick a path, hit like, or hit subscribe. It's your call. We don't care which, just pick one. Or go to Roll Tide Pods and do it. Or War Damn Pods. Or the Disrupt Media YouTube channel. Or The Meltdown. Just make a decision and stick with it. Like or subscribe, the choice is yours.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Starting another hour of the next round. Got a lot to get to this hour. Our 40 and 40 presented by MyBookie. We're about to do that team right now. 4 downs coming up this hour as well. Dan Wetzel joins us in less than an hour. We'll talk about everything that happened throughout the sports weekend with him as we start this hour. Gutter cap. Now that tree's down, you don't have to worry about that one getting leaves in your gutter.
I got plenty of others.
I know.
Make the call to C-Stu today. Get that free estimate from Gutter Cap. The last thing you want to do is get on the roof. You slip, you fall, snap the neck and die. No good to the wife or kids. Call today, 45% off the retail price. 205-823-2212. Cost you nothing to get the free estimate. They'll come out, clean the gutters one final time, put that amazing cover system over your existing gutters. It will keep all the debris out. 205-823-2212. Cap it. Don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
I'm going to bring this up now because I will forget it later. But this is an interesting thing to watch, and it may or may not develop. But for those of you that are outside of Birmingham and may not be aware of this story, there is a Division III school here in Birmingham, Birmingham Southern University. Lunsford actually played football there for a little bit at Birmingham Southern. Unfortunately, they have run out of money and they are closing their doors May 31st. Somebody forgot to tell their baseball team that because their baseball team has now advanced, as Scott is showing you, the out that leads them to the Super Regional, which will be played in Oklahoma. And if they win that, they go to the College World Series. Tricky part about that is the Division III College World Series will be played after May 31st. They will literally be a team with no existing school. I've never seen anything like this.
It still blows me away that Birmingham Southern's going away.
Yeah, I mean, it is wild. When you read the backstory, it's a little less wild.
Yeah.
And you find out what happened.
Yeah, and did Alabama and A&M buy the campus?
They've made an offer, but I don't think there has been any deal closed. But Alabama A&M has offered an amount of money to purchase the land there.
Yeah,
and will continue to operate it as a school.
This is one of those cool stories, though.
Yeah.
And, the deeper they go, the bigger of a story it becomes. And this is something that I know it's lower level when you're talking about where it is compared right now to Division I baseball, and we're about to roll into the SEC tournament here in Hoover. But that's something that ESPN, if they end up winning a championship, they pick something up like that.
I said Oklahoma. Scott is right. The Supers are in Ohio. If I did say Oklahoma, I'm wrong about that. Ohio. And, that is just a wild story that they could be playing in the Division III NCAA College World Series, and their school's not even in business anymore. Yep. I've never in my life seen anything like this. And, as Tyler likes to say in his commercial, I'm a businessman now. My first thought is, is this already been paid? How are their expenses covered? I mean, Birmingham Southern's doors are going to be closed. Do they just – I wouldn't take a check from them.
Is that legit? Pritchlaw said the offer was $52 million?
Yeah, $52 million from Alabama A&M.
Wow.
Well, I think Birmingham Southern's upside down like $500 million or something.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying I'm surprised that campus would be worth $52 million.
It's a ready – if you're Alabama A&M, if you wanted to expand into Birmingham, your options are find land, build a campus, or here's an existing campus ready to go.
How many acres is it on?
I have no idea. Lunsford might know.
I haven't been there in forever. I think the last time I went, I was delivering remember when I told you I used to sell printer ink?
Yeah. I don't remember that one. I thought it was trash bags.
I did that, yeah.
But
the printer ink was in between my L.A. days and Jocks.
Okay, so between L.A. and Jocks, you used to sell printer ink.
Yeah, it was like 2 or 3 months.
Yeah,
and then I got a job with Radio Disney that led to my job at Jocks.
Yeah, how bad was the printer ink sales job? You took a Radio Disney sales job.
Let me pull that back. I didn't sell. What I did was deliver the printer ink to different companies that had a contract.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Birmingham Southern was one of those. That's the last time you were on that campus.
Last time I was on the campus.
It's been a while.
So that's been, almost 30 years ago.
But imagine playing in a College World Series for a school that no longer exists. That is just, it's a weird story, and it's worth watching, I guess. They got to win 2 out of 3 on the road in Ohio to do that. All right, let's get to our MyBookie.ag 40 and 40. We're doing 40 teams and 40 shows leading up to SEC Media Days. MyBookie.ag, bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.ag. They've even got a new casino option that you can use. Maybe you've been there before. Weekend trip to the casino, it gets canceled because real life. Well, MyBookie's new and improved online casino can change everything for you. Truly realistic casino experience with the latest in slots, progressive jackpots, live dealer action, and it's all right there in the comfort of your own home. The MyBookie Casino, a Las Vegas experience With the action in your hands, you don't even have to wear pants. Start at MyBookie today with a generous sign-up bonus using code NEXTROUND. That is code NEXTROUND. And a revamped loyalty program ensures a host of exclusive VIP perks. The more you play, the more you can win. Only with MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND. MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND. All right, Scott, let's do it. We started with Houston. We went to James Madison. We went to Virginia Tech. Today, team number 37 in our MyBookie.ag 40 at 40, the Green Wave of Tulane out of the American Conference.
Yeah, Willie Fritz takes off to Houston. He won, this is kind of ironic, won 23 games over the last 2 years at Tulane. The guy coming in, friend of the show, John Summerall.
Love him.
Comes in from Troy. He has won 23 games over the last 2 years. 5 bowls for Tulane over the last 6 years, only 11 bowls before that in the history of the program. Tulane has become a really good program. It used to be a doormat. It used to be, one of those teams somebody would schedule, was an automatic W. I don't know how I feel about John Summerall's first year because you're bringing in so many transfer guys. And you're bringing in, guys from USC, from Alabama, Ty Thompson, who a lot of people believed early on was going to beat Bo Nix out at quarterback at Oregon. So you got so many transfers coming in. How does it all come together? Yeah. Really tough September, by the way.
It really is. Let's talk about that one right now. They get a little bit of a breather to open with on a Thursday night. Southeastern Louisiana, the Lions will come to Ullman Stadium. And they get a long week in preparation for the potentially toughest team they play all year, Kansas State. They get them at home. I say potentially because the next week they're on the road at Oklahoma. That may be it. Before they even jump into conference play, John Summerall's got his hands full to start his tenure there at Tulane.
Yeah, I think if you're a Tulane fan in year one under Summerall, you want just to be 2-2 going into that first conference game because, on the road at Louisiana, that's a difficult game. There's a chance, they're going to be underdogs against Kansas State and Oklahoma. There's a chance they're underdogs in Lafayette against Louisiana. Then you're playing a really good South Florida team. UAB should be improved in year 2 under Trent Dilfer. Then you might get a break again in the middle of October against Rice. I could see 6-6. I could see 5-7. I could see 7-5. There's a lot of swing games out there.
Yeah. Do you have a problem with where our audience, the biggest voting audience we've ever had, has them ranked right now?
Yeah, I think they're too high.
A little high?
Yeah, they host 2 of maybe the biggest American Conference games this year. They've got Memphis. They're hosting in November. South Florida to kick off that schedule in September. But boy, man, that is a difficult schedule in year one. We'll see how good Ty Thompson is. I don't think he's going to be as good as Michael Pratt was.
No, Michael Pratt was one of the best quarterbacks they've ever had there.
Yeah.
I guess best quarterback they've ever had was Sean King back under Tommy Bowden.
J.P. Losman.
Yeah, he's really good
Patrick
too.
Ramsey. Yeah. They've had good quarterbacks.
Yeah. I'll say this for that Tulane program. I don't know how they've done this. It's just good scheduling on their part, but they've had Ole Miss come last year. They got Kansas State this year. They're getting some big names coming into Ullman Stadium. They're playing more on-campus games now. In fact, they don't play a single game anymore at the Superdome. Everything is at Ullman Stadium on campus. So they've moved to their on-campus facility. It's a smaller facility, obviously, outdoors. But they're actually getting names to come in there with Ole Miss last year and K-State this year.
Yeah, look, if you can win double-digit games, which Willie Fritz showed you can back-to-back years, and again, they've been to 6 bowls or 5 bowls in 6 years. It's become a really good Group 5 program.
Yeah, we bemoaned is probably a bad word. We thought maybe John Summerall should have waited. Following Willie Fritz did a really good job there.
I could understand.
Thought he should wait.
Summerall is one of those guys, and when we first had him on, the first time we ever talked to him, I was like, that guy's going to be super successful.
Yeah, we loved him.
Kind of tell.
Yeah.
So I think he'll find his way out of Tulane. He's making good money there. But, if this would have been Houston where Willie Fritz went, then you would completely understand.
Yeah, you feel differently about Houston, obviously, if Summerall takes that job. But at Tulane, my fear for Summerall is, it's just, I think the guy's a really good coach. My fear for him
is a better job than Troy.
Oh, it's a better job. I just thought he would get a better job than Tulane with one more year at Troy.
Could have, yeah.
Yeah, I think he was going to get more than Tulane. It's not that I thought Tulane's a worse job than Troy or even a lateral move. It is a better job. I agree 100% with you. I just think he could have been patient and gotten another job.
Now, look, if all of these transfers come together, you've got Mario Williams, guy that played a lot at SC, a receiver coming in. Shaz Preston's a guy that Bama fans thought was going to be really good. With Ty Thompson, you've got a lot of talented skill guys. If that came together and he won 8 games and let's just say Mac Brown retires, North Carolina, would that be a good job?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If you could parlay it into the North Carolina job, you've got an excellent job there. Andy says, Tulane does have the best color scheme, though. Baby blue unis are great.
I do like those.
I do like that baby blue look they've got.
Yep, I think they wore that last year against Ole Miss, did they
I believe they did, yeah. That is a good uniform for them. They have gone with kind of the Angry Wave logo, which I kind of like. It's cartoonish, but I like it. Normally the cartoonish logos don't do it.
You can only do so much with a wave.
You're absolutely right. And I think they've done the best they can with the baby blues and the Angry Wave there. So that is team number 37, the Tulane Green Wave. Let me look at it. I'll tease you with tomorrow. I'm not going to tell you who, obviously. Tomorrow, the Big 12 is up next. And a team that normally is rated higher. I'll just say that out of the Big 12. That is up next tomorrow, all presented by MyBookie.ag, code next round. MyBookie.ag, code next round. When you sign on, enjoy that great casino experience, all right there at MyBookie.ag, code next round. Ashley says baby blue is great, except when you're called the Green Wave. That is the weird thing.
No,
That's the weird
mix
thing.
some green in there, though.
They do. The baby blue jersey is their best looking jersey, though, so you got to go with it. It's going to be your best look. But, I mean, Tulane, when I was growing up, was just a miserably bad program. Like that Tommy Bowden, 12-0, or were they 11-0?
Oh, they were 12-0.
12-0. That was like so out of nowhere, and it got Tommy Bowden the Clemson job.
I think I've told you that story before because they beat BYU in the Liberty Bowl to cap off the undefeated season, but it was one of those I played against them. They covered every game that year.
Oh, yeah. I have heard you say that.
I think they were actually 13-0, but they covered every single game.
Rich Rod was the offensive coordinator, right?
He was.
Rich Rod was the offensive coordinator. Tommy Bowden was the head coach. As you mentioned, as we talked about earlier, Sean King, who ended up playing for Dunaway's Buccaneers, was the quarterback. I mean, it was a dominant offense.
Yeah. And
but that was so out of nowhere. Tulane was such a terrible program.
Yeah, as good as Tulane was 2 years ago, that was Tulane's best team, in my opinion. Now, they might have had some back in the 30s.
Well, probably so. But, I mean, they were an SEC team back then. But, boy, they had gotten really, really bad.
Scott just did. Did you pull the uni? Yeah,
that's a good look right there. Scott is absolutely right. If they could play, that would be my standard home uniform right there. I don't care if I'm green wave, purple wave, whatever. That's my standard home uniform.
Yeah, me too. And I would just make the wave green on the helmet.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. They've got some green in there.
Yeah.
But I would emphasize the baby blue. That is absolutely my home uniform right there if I'm them. I don't even think about anything else. I go with that one and that one alone. That is a good-looking uniform. Number 5 right there on the carry. All right, that is our 40 and 40. We'll come back to that presented by MyBookie. Dunaway will tell you all the time, our friends at Way to Wellness changed his life, maybe even saved his life at Way to Wellness. The website is very simple, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's Way to Wellness. Leslie and her board-certified staff will walk you through the whole process. And when they do that, you're going to find out that this is not just some cookie-cutter deal, right? This is a plan that is specifically for you at Way to Wellness. And they've got a board-certified staff. They're going to make sure everything is done properly. They're going to make sure all the numbers are right before you even start. And when they do that, my friends, is the way that you are going to get your health back. Way to Wellness can help you lose weight. It can get you healthier. It can get you just headed in the right direction with all those numbers. Your blood pressure is one thing that was affecting Dunaway. It has improved. Your medical numbers. The food is excellent. He always mentions that 100-gram bar. I've stolen a couple of those from him, whether he knows it or not. They are fantastic. They do taste just like 100 grand. At planforme.com, aplanforme.com is Way to Wellness. Leslie and their staff can help you. They've helped so many people up here and are continuing to help people up here, and they will do it for you as well. Aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. All right, so real quick, I wanted to get back to the best and worst of the weekend. I'm going to do a little parent brag here. I had no worst this weekend. My best of the weekend is my 10-year-old daughter, Hallie. For 3-4 years now, has been a Taekwondo student and has worked her tail off. And this weekend, she became a black belt.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she became a black belt. So if you don't know how Taekwondo works, you know, like karate or like some of the other martial arts, you proceed through the belt level, starting at white belt, and you work your way up to black belt. And you have to test along the way, and you have to meet certain criteria, and you have to do certain things right in your test.
Yeah, we heard just a couple of weeks ago, Giselle's still a white belt, right?
Oh, is she? I did not hear that.
Well, I mean, she was doing like 7 lessons a day with her instructor, and
she never.
That's why Kevin Hart was like, she's still a white belt.
Busy, man. Other things in mind.
Missed the joke. My apologies. Missed the joke there. But my daughter, so what you're going to see right here, if you're watching us, is the board breaking she has to do to become a black belt. This is Hallie Brown, my 10-year-old daughter, working with Master Susha there from World Class Taekwondo. So she does the old knife hand to break the board in half. Looks to make sure everybody's watching.
I wish she'd do that to your ribs.
Probably break a rib. Now she's going to do her spinning back kick right there. Breaks the boards there. Master Susha holding those boards up. And now the running the flying side kick right there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did she watch Cobra Kai?
She has never watched Cobra Kai that I'm aware of. You think she'd like it?
Oh, yeah.
Should we watch Karate Kid first?
Yeah, I would watch Karate Kid. I mean, Cobra Kai does step it up a little bit on the material.
Oh, yeah.
It's basically a 90210 with a bunch of people, throwing karate kicks and stuff. So it's got some adult themes to it.
Yeah. So this is just basically a chance for me to brag on my child. I used it as my best of the weekend.
That's
but it was,
awesome.
in fact, my best of the weekend. There's a photo of young Hallie smiling after she was awarded her black belt there by Master Scarcella. That is Master Justin Scarcella there that runs the school. Great guy, Master Scarcella.
Is he a better golfer than you are at Taekwondo?
I beat him by one shot. We played golf together. I beat him by one shot. There's her instructors, Master Maria on the far left, Mr. Maria, Master Susha in the middle, and Mr. Sears, Drew Sears there on the far right. Nicest people in the world that could cut you up in like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
That's what's wild about it. Like, everybody at the school is so nice, and they could break me in half in an instant if they decided to. Isn't that kind of weird?
That's like Miyagi, man.
Yeah, he was a nice guy. You're right, Mr. Miyagi. But boy,
he
you pushed
wasn't.
it too far. No, he's a good guy. How'd you know he played golf, Master Scarcella?
Because I remember you and Dunaway playing with him.
Yeah, me and Dunaway played with him, and I had to. I had a weird round that day. Is it weird that I remember my round?
Well, you said that you beat him by a stroke.
Mm-hmm.
So are you saying you played poorly?
On the front nine, I did. That was a weird round. I shot 44-35 that day. I can remember it well. 44-35. Awful on the front nine. Completely lost. Didn't know where the ball was going. And then just made one simple adjustment and played much better on the
What was the
back nine.
adjustment? Do you remember that?
You're going to laugh at this. I moved the ball back in my stance.
Okay.
I was hitting a big old hook, and I'm like, probably need to move it back a little bit. Probably have it a little too far up in my stance. And back nine, 35. Closed the deal there, 79, broke 80.
Was the sensei more consistent on front and back?
He was. He had a bad 18th hole, as I remember it. I beat him on the 18th there. Dunaway was just a spectator in the match. But,
so
he
what,
was
did he go 39-39?
I can't. No, I beat him by one. He shot an 80, as I remember it that day. And I think we were tied coming into 18. Or I might have been one back. I birdied 18. I think he bogeyed 18. It's par 5. So, it was a good match, man.
Yeah.
It was a good match. Thank you for asking. So there you go. That's my best and worst of the weekend. Rockstar, your best and worst? The fact that you made it back home.
Yeah, well, both of them. Yeah, so a long trip.
Yeah.
Ready to go take a nap.
Yeah. Kyle says, Brown, how does it feel to know your daughter could whip your tail? Look, she's still 10 years old. I still think I could take her if I wanted to, but she knows some moves I don't know.
No, it's good, though, that she can protect herself, man.
Well, that's it's just
it's a good activity.
It's a great activity.
Teaches you a lot of discipline.
It does. A lot of respect.
Yeah, a lot of lessons.
Yep.
In the training, but
that's right.
Ultimately she does know how to protect herself.
Yeah, that's right.
Great.
One day if a boy decides he wants to get a little handsy, she can put him on the ground.
Yeah.
That is my hope, right? And her learning that.
Just tell her trachea, just with the board that you break, just make it his trachea.
That's right. If he attacks you with a board, break that and slice him, right? There you go. That is, Brody says, my dad always told me he would never fight me fair once I got bigger than him. Well, there you go. Pritchlaw said she'd be finished whooping me before she even realized it was a fight. Does have a whole lot of confidence in me.
No, he does not.
He does not. All right, more of the show coming up. Johnston RV Center bringing you part of the show today. I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur is Johnston RV Center. They've repriced both of those lots. They are so confident that they've got the best prices. They'll beat any price nationwide. You bring them a price on a comparable RV, they will beat it. And also, they will make sure your RV is covered forever with a lifetime warranty. RV warranty forever. Make sure you've got a lifetime warranty on those RVs. You can find out more. I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. Always online, johnstonrvcenter.com, johnstonrvcenter.com.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
This hour of the Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemphill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention the next round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemphill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemphill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemphill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com.
Hey, you. Summer's here. Time to get hot. And at New Balance Birmingham, that's just what we got. For a summertime vibe, see what's inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
We continue on the next round. Brad Crawford, 24/7 Sports, has been on the show numerous times. He's joined us. Always like having Brad on. We may get him on later this week to talk about some of these. I'm not going to get to all 50. He's got 50. How does he word this, Lance? These end up being predictions, and we end up saying if they're bold or not. I don't think he calls them bold. But they are like 50 observations. I'm trying to find the exact wording on this, and for some reason, the headline is
the last time. And I'm always underwhelmed, but the last time we had somebody do bold predictions, they were pretty bold.
You know what? I think they might have been Brad too. I think Brad might have done this. He does not claim these to be bold, but they are 50 projections of the college football season. I'm not going to do all 50. I'm just going to hit the highlights on perhaps the teams we care about. He starts with a guy that I guess is somewhat polarizing on this show, just based on the way I believe it. 50 thoughts on college football's 24 season prediction, analysis, and more. So never says the years are bold. It just says their storylines, okay? Number 50, and I'm interested where you think this guy goes. Eli Drinkwitz continues rapid rise at Missouri as number 50. As we've pointed out many times on this show, the schedule is favorable for Missouri. They missed Georgia, Texas, Ole Miss, and LSU, which are 4 title contenders. They do play Alabama, but that is a softer schedule than a lot of teams have in the SEC. And then he points out Luther Burden, one of college football's best players, is back. Aside from just this year, we'll talk a lot about Missouri this year. What do you think is the future for Eli Drinkwitz? Like,
that's an interesting question. I mean, you can't deny the 11 wins last year. You've got a ton of skill coming back. Brady Cook is one of the better quarterbacks in college football. Missouri finishing in the top 10 last year is not going to sneak up on anybody. But if they were to win 10 games and get to a college football playoff this year, there's going to be some job openings and there's going to be some offers for Drinkwitz. The thing I would ask you, how many jobs do you leave now How many jobs do you leave Missouri for now?
Fewer than ever because the money he can make there, you're in the SEC.
And if he gets to a college football playoff,
yeah,
then, I don't know if you can win a national championship at Missouri. It seems like a high bar. But, how many programs can you legitimately win a national championship? I'll ask you this. If Florida's win total right now was 4.5, and one of the guys that invited me over this past weekend, the Greg guy's a Florida grad, and he was like, I didn't want to fire Dan Mullen. He was like, we'll see how this Billy Napier thing works out, but we know he's on a hot seat. Let's say that Billy Napier gets fired. Would they take a look at Eli Drinkwitz right there in conference?
I mean, if he has a good year this year, I don't know why not.
He wears a visor.
He does wear a visor. That has worked before there. I was just sitting here thinking, though, like, if you're Eli Drinkwitz, what jobs do you take? Give me a Big 12 job you would leave Missouri for. I can't think of one that I would automatically say I would 100% leave Missouri for. If I've got it going at Missouri,
Utah's definitely a better program.
Yeah, but I don't know that I would leave Missouri for the Utah job.
Yeah, Kansas State's a better program, but you just beat them in the last 2 years.
I don't think I'll leave Missouri for the Kansas State job. Would you leave it for the Oak State job to replace Gundy?
Nope.
I don't think I would either. So I don't know that there's a Big 12 job that he would leave for. Now, this is assuming he's got it going at Missouri and he's not like trying to get one step ahead of the posse.
Well, there are two jobs in the Big 12 that we've talked about that can be massive, and that would be BYU and Houston. No, excuse me, Houston and Central Florida.
Yeah. I don't know that I'll leave Missouri for either one of those.
I don't think I would either.
So now do the ACC. Where would you leave? All right, there's more there. Like, I would take the Florida State job if it were offered to me. Now, some of this is depending on what happens to the ACC.
Okay,
I would take the Clemson job.
If North Carolina, if Mag Brown sooner or later is going to – I don't think
I would do it. I don't think I would. I mean, I think there might be two in that conference. I'm not sure I'd take Miami.
Cristobal underwhelmed and had another 7-6.
I'm not certain. I mean, at some point, everybody that goes down there underwhelms and gets fired. Is it a coach issue or is it a program issue? Right? I mean, who's the last coach that's had any success at Miami?
Larry Coker.
Was it Larry Coker?
I mean, Mark Richt had a really good 1 year, I think 11 wins.
But I mean,
they never really seemed to be in the mix.
Yeah, I mean, so
that's when we got that stupid turnover chain that year. Remember?
I know all those coaches go down there and they can't do anything. So I don't know, man. I don't know
how many jobs in the Big Ten I would take over Missouri.
I mean, there's some obvious ones like an Ohio State or a Michigan, Penn State you would take, a USC you would take. But boy, I tell you, once you get past that group, I don't know how many you leave Missouri for.
Not taking Minnesota, Illinois, Purdue.
Nope. UCLA, not with their financial situation. No, I'm not taking UCLA. Michigan State, I wouldn't take.
Iowa?
I don't think I would. I don't think I would leave Missouri for Iowa. I mean, I think Kirk Ferentz is a pretty good coach, and it has been.
He's never been to a college football playoff.
He hasn't, and he's winning by paper-thin margins with a terrible offense. I mean, he has figured out a way to win in a bad division. You lose divisions and see what happens to Iowa in the Big Ten, I think.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think there's probably 20 jobs I could put on paper that I would definitely take in front, but that would be about it.
And we're talking Missouri football, man. How far things have come from Missouri.
This could be a situation much like Matt Campbell, who, seemed to get some offers to leave Ames, never did.
Yeah.
Maybe Eli Drinkwitz just ends up being comfortable there, makes a ton of money, and has Missouri in the mix. It's not like he's got to win any championships to keep his job.
Number 49 for Brad. NC State makes a bunch of noise early. I had not looked at NC State's early schedule. What I do know about NC State, Grayson McCall is there, and that does what for you?
I like Grayson McCall. He's got a ton of experience. I think it's going to be an upgrade over what we saw last year with Brendan Armstrong. I thought he was going to be better. NC State still had 9 wins. Dave Duran's like the expert 9-win guy.
That's right.
Finds a way to do that every single year. Early is not good.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's why this is a bold prediction.
They can make noise if you're to win 2 games that you're going to be underdogs in September, and those are games. Is that a neutral site against Tennessee?
It is in Charlotte, Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. That's the Mayo's, the Duke Mayo's.
Tennessee will definitely be favored in that spot. Yep. In Death Valley, Clemson will definitely be favored in that spot. But if they get out with a split, they've got a chance of running the table and getting to an ACC championship.
And if by some chance they're 3-1, I mean, NC State could really make some noise. I had not looked at their schedule yet.
NC State just can't run the football. Couldn't run the football last year, so I think that's going to be kind of the emphasis this year is going to be running the football.
So Western Carolina to open, that's a Thursday night game. Then they play the neutral site week 2 against Tennessee, primetime ABC for that one. La Tech at home, and then they're at Clemson in week 4. That La Tech game, by the way, I don't know how good Louisiana Tech will be. That is a classic trap game, though, between a game against Tennessee and at Clemson.
Yeah, but to answer your question, I had NC State at 21 in our poll.
Yeah. So you're expecting them to be probably
9 wins.
8-9 wins. Yeah.
I mean, I think with that schedule.
Yeah. Those are just a couple there. I'm going to pepper some of these in throughout the show, but that's a couple that caught my attention. Eli Drinkwitz and NC State, because I just did not look at NC State's schedule. And that is a really, really tough start for them. He says real quick, Arizona, a significant fall from grace. Don't you expect that? I mean, I don't think that's a huge surprise, right?
No.
I mean, they do get Noah Fafita back.
Yeah, Fafita's back. Obviously, Fish is on to Washington. But Brian Brennan takes us over from San Jose State. And I remember talking to Brock in Unlocked this past year a couple of times. And he said that Brennan was, when they were hiring Kalen DeBoer, Washington, Brennan was the other guy they were looking at.
Yeah.
So he is a well-respected coach, but I would assume there's going to be some fall-off. And that was one of the surprise teams of college football last year.
Yeah. One more that or two more I'll hit you with real quick. I do want to remind everyone about Bandwagon Sports. It is your local sports store. And they want to make sure you visit the locations. If you're in Birmingham, at Cahaba Heights, and Edgewood, looking for the best in sporting goods, they've got it there. The best in apparel, much more. Top-of-the-line equipment to clothing brands. Bandwagon has what you need, and you can look like an MVP, especially when you go to the beach. Brands like Chubby's, Bird Dogs, Task, Southern Tide. They've got everything you need for summer ahead. Cahaba Heights and Edgewood in Birmingham, and always online, bandwagonsports.com. Bandwagonsports.com. Time for the next round to jump on the bandwagon, bandwagonsports.com. Real quick, I want to go to the chat room because Jonathan says NC State, Utah are preseason outperformers. I'm assuming he means they'll outperform their win total. I don't have their win totals in front of me. You just made a case NC State could, and I know you like Utah.
Yeah, I would think NC State is probably 7.5. I would think Utah is maybe 9.5.
Ooh, that'd be a lot for Utah to overperform.
If you can give me the Utes at 8.5 right now, I'd take the over Smiling.
Yeah.
NC State over 7.5, I would take Smiling. You get NC State in the 8.5 neighborhood, Utah in the 9.5, it gets tricky.
Here's another one that I know you're going to agree with from Brad Crawford, 24/7 Sports. Miami hits the over in their win total. He says it's the most talented group Mario Cristobal's had during his tenure. If they can survive the first month of the season unscathed, the 10-2 finish is on the table for them.
I agree. And
you like that team.
You've got the best quarterback that has been at Miami, and I can't even remember how long. I mean, Cam Ward is – a lot of people haven't seen him play because he played at Washington State. And incarnate Word before that.
Yeah.
So I think people are going to be blown away when they see Cam Ward with talent around him.
Yeah. Last good Miami quarterback is a tough one. I don't know the answer to that.
The kid from Houston that came over. Why am I forgetting his name? Remember the kid that tapped out after 4 games?
Yeah. De'Aaron King. De'Aaron King. De'Aaron King, yeah. But Cam Ward is better than De'Aaron King.
He is, yeah. They open at Florida, major swing game.
That's a major swing game for both those teams.
Yep. They win that game.
Look out.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're 11-1. But yes, I would play the U's over win total. I think that's one of the easier ones out there.
Yeah, you've liked Miami from day one. This is something you have said for quite a while now, is that you've liked Miami to have a better year than most expected.
Yeah,
you think they could contend for the conference?
I have my top 10, preseason top 10.
Yeah, so you've got
And I don't like Cristobal. I mean, we've talked about him before.
Yeah.
You know,
this has nothing to do with you just falling in love with the coach, is what you're saying.
I think it's a combination of what they've brought in talent-wise, Cristobal, a pivotal year 3, and the fact that they get a really beneficial schedule.
Yeah. I'm pulling up the win totals just real quick to find the ones we're talking about here. Miami's is 9.5.
Yeah, see, again, that gets a little
tough.
trickier.
Yeah.
Especially if they lose to Florida.
Yeah, Utah's is 9.5, and NC State's is 8.5.
Yeah, see, those are all where
NC
they
State
should
would
be.
I know NC State would be the one you'd feel best about there, right?
Yep.
I mean, 9.5. That is a lot to ask out of Miami for a bounce back here, but it just shows you that Vegas. Let me tell you.
I think that and this is kind of a reflection on I think where the fan base would be. If you go under 9.5, I think it's a major disappointment. If you go over 9.5, 10 wins, you're in the mix to play for an ACC championship and maybe get into a college football playoff. So, I think if you get the overs with all those teams, including Utah over the 9.5, NC State over the 8.5, I think those are all viewed as successful years.
But to show you what the odds makers think of Miami, while we're talking about them, let me give you the other 9.5s, or some of the other 9.5s. There are a lot of them. Ole Miss, who a lot of people think Lane Kiffin could have the best year Ole Miss has had in forever.
Ole Miss, like Miami, very beneficial schedule when
That's
you're
right.
talking about an SEC schedule.
Defending national champion Michigan. Now, they've lost a lot of talent and they're changing coaches, but they're not going to completely fall off. Penn State, Alabama, LSU, Clemson, Kansas State, Florida State, Missouri, Utah, Tennessee. All those teams are at 9.5 with Miami. That's the group that the Vegas odds makers have them in.
And how many are 10.5s? Only 3?
Your 10.5s are, this is from Vegas Insider, Georgia, Oregon, Ohio State, more than 3, Texas, and Notre Dame.
Okay.
So there are only 5 teams in all of college football that have a bigger win total than the University of Miami this year. So you're not alone, and Brad Crawford is not alone in thinking that this is going to be a better than advertised Miami team.
Yeah. And we'll see how it plays out. But again, I think it really starts August 31st if they are to beat Florida on the road.
And that's pretty much a pick-em game, I think, when we've seen the point spreads, right?
Yeah.
It's in Gainesville.
I think we had Furman on Friday, and I was like, easy money is Virginia Tech's over and wins. Miami's also got them in September.
Yeah.
So, I mean, really 3 tricky games at Florida, at South Florida, and Virginia Tech. But if they survive the month of September with only 1 loss, they're more than likely going to go over that win total.
And if you missed it, Virginia Tech 7.5. That's their win total. And you say that's an easy over.
I think so.
It's 7.5. So you're higher on Virginia Tech.
Yeah, I think Brent Pry, I think it's a big year 3 for him, but we talked about it, 22 returning starters.
Yeah.
11 on offense, 9 on defense, both your punter and your kicker. I think they're going to be a lot better than advertised.
You can go read all of the 50 thoughts from Brad Crawford, just a couple of those, though, that we brought up. And I'll bring some up maybe a little bit later in the show, 247sports.com for our buddy Brad, 247sports.com. All right, when we come back, good celebrity birthdays, average celebrity birthdays.
Average
celebrity birthdays. We will discuss those when we return. It's part of 4 Downs. That is next on the next round.
Never miss anything Auburn. Watch Village Vice at Wardam Pods on YouTube and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new chicken bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the Bayou, the amazing hand-patty burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation, 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you, 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the next round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the next round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
It could be an interesting day for the NCAA, by the way. We don't get into a lot of this because it involves legal stuff. And I mean, overall, Lance, just kind of a boring topic that could have an interesting ending, right? I mean, I don't want to get into all the legalese and what's going on here, but there are a lot of people that are saying these are the early signs of potentially the end of the NCAA, which I, for one, would not mind at all.
I mean, as long as you don't work for the NCAA, who do you think minds?
I don't know. I would guess maybe some of these smaller schools, but basically what happens is the 22 non-FBS football conferences sent a letter to the NCAA this morning disputing the proposed payment structure in their antitrust settlement. So the NCAA is having to pay out a very large antitrust settlement, and now the non-football playing schools are saying, not enough, right? We want more. And there are a lot of people that are saying, or the non-football playing conferences, a lot of people are saying the football conferences are going to be like, okay, again, tell me.
Yeah, where do you make our money?
Why would we make all this money?
Yeah.
Are we having to support everybody else? So I don't know if this will be the thing that leads to the end of the NCAA. I just think it's inevitable anyway that these football schools are going to say, why in the world are we continuing this? We could do this so much better on our own, and they'll be gone.
I am shocked that we continue to have these conversations when it comes to the NCAA. I would have thought by now,
No, I'm with you.
told them to kick rocks.
Yeah, I am with you 100%. Basically, ESPN, Pete Thamel of ESPN, has seen the letter. It proposes an alternative payment model, 60% paid by the big schools as opposed to the current 40%. So basically, the big schools, the Big 10, the SEC, the Big 12, the ACC are paying 40% of the settlement, and the non-football schools are saying we'd like them to pay 60%. I just don't see a world where those conferences are going to say, oh, yeah, sure, we'll pay more. Maybe they can find some common ground, but a lot of people are saying this is just one
and
more
this
nail.
will go down today?
The letter was sent today. I don't know, exactly what will happen, but the big thing was that the letter was officially sent by the schools. I don't know that the letter was entirely a surprise, but it's just one more mile down the road towards the end of the NCAA. So we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll talk about it as needed. 4 Down's coming up in a moment. At first, Urology Centers of Alabama wants to make sure your urological health is where it should be. Men and women, listen to me. This is so important. It's something you cannot ignore. And our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama make sure it stays top of mind for you. To make an appointment, 205-930-0920. That's 205-930-0920. UrologyCentersAlabama.com. UrologyCentersAlabama.com. Don't let a problem sneak up on you. Anytime you're feeling the signs of any sort of urological issue, Urology Centers, UCA, UrologyCentersAlabama.com. All right, Rockstar, let's do 4 Downs, presented each day by Slice. And as always, we start with
First Down.
Okay, let me get these celebrity birthdays in order here.
Is it all 4 Downs?
Yeah, I've got.
Okay.
We'll start with this, though. Who wins a college football playoff game first? Because we were talking about them, Miami or Oklahoma State.
If Miami, well, see, here's the thing now. I was about to say if Miami wins the ACC, but if they win the ACC, they get a bye, and they don't have that on campus.
And then they're going to be playing somebody really tough.
I know.
In that
if they
round.
don't win the ACC, how much confidence do you have 2 ACC teams?
I don't. And the same with Oklahoma State. Like I don't know if we really see a world right now where you get 2 Big 12s in.
Yeah. I'm going to say Oklahoma. Oklahoma State's best shot is getting somebody in Stillwater, and again, that means you're not a top 4 seed, so I don't know how you get in.
I mean, the answer should be Miami.
It should be, but
I've got more confidence
in
Mike Gundy than I do Mario Cristobal, though.
Yeah. I am going to go. Yeah, I do too. I'm going to go Miami.
If Mike Gundy didn't tan 365 days a year and he didn't have a mullet, I think we would take him a little more seriously.
I think you're right about that. And his house looks like a Bass Pro Shop. It was on the market, and we showed the photos of it. It was on the market. It looks like the inside of a Bass Pro Shop.
I'm going to take Oklahoma State.
I'm not confident with either answer.
I'm not either, but I'm going to take Oak State.
Second down.
I mean, that's going to require Oak State to play a team like a conference champion or a team that's not a conference champion, but they're good enough to get an at-large from another conference. So you're talking about like a Michigan, Penn State, Alabama, Ole Miss. I mean,
I kind of agree with the Royal Payne. I mean, right now I look at Utah, Kansas State, then Kansas or Oklahoma State in the Big 12.
Yeah.
But if Oklahoma State, if they were to win the Big 12 this year, it wouldn't shock me.
Yeah.
I think they might be
If
really
I
good
thought
this
they could get an at-large, I would either one of them I'd feel better about because they're going to get a home game out of it, especially Oklahoma State.
Well, let me ask you, if you had two 11-1s in the Big 12 play each other, is there any chance a team that loses, I guess you would need 3 11-1s, right? And the team that is left out of the 11-1 gets the at-large.
Gets in.
Because it's hard to see a team in a Big 12 championship lose the game and get in.
But even then, I'm going to need to know who that 11-1 is and who they've beaten and lost to, you know? Because Lance, they could get in, but they could also be the 11 seed getting in. So now you don't even get a home game out of it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the difficult mountain to climb with Miami and Oklahoma State. You can't even figure out a way to get them a home game out of it. All right, second down.
Second down.
Okay, what happens first? Nuggets win another championship or Xander Schauffele wins another major?
So Xander will get
2 more shots.
4 more shots, actually, overall before the Nuggets could ever win another championship. But, I mean, he's 30 and he's just now winning his first one.
But do you really feel good about the Nuggets winning it next year?
I do not know. So I would probably go Xander Schauffele in this one. I mean, he's going to get 4 shots before the Nuggets ever get a chance. Then if the Nuggets don't win it next year,
and this is Mike Weir. This is not,
No. This guy, he's been in the hunt.
Yeah, this is not Danny Willett.
No, he didn't just randomly win a major. This guy has been in the hunt at majors and finally closed the deal.
And at 30, you would think with today's nutrition and the way everybody's taking care of themselves, he's got at least 10 more prime years. Would you not think?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He can easily play to 40, if not beyond.
Yeah, so if he gets 40 to 50 more shots at a major, not that, I mean, it is kind of hard to believe that Jokic is not going to win another championship, but there's so many good young players.
There really are, and he just didn't look. I mean, did you think in the playoffs he was as dominant as he has been?
He was in 2 games in this series. He was really dominant.
That was a 7-game series, though, you know, and he just wasn't the transcendent player, or maybe he was, and it wasn't.
So Jokic
transcendent enough.
Is a better basketball player than Schauffele is a golfer.
I would agree completely.
But I would go Schauffele here.
I think I would too.
Third down.
Former actor Jimmy Stewart, one of Rockstar's favorites, would have been 116 today. Didn't make it to 116.
Damn, dude.
But if I asked you the better overall career, Jimmy Stewart or NASCAR legend Jimmy Johnson?
James Stewart, I guess.
All right, so
It's a Wonderful Life.
A potentially controversial.
My favorite Hitchcock movie too, Rear Window.
Mr. Smith goes to Washington.
He did a lot of great stuff. I know a lot of people didn't like him because of the way he talked. Some people thought he was not a good actor.
And that's what I was about to ask. Potentially, controversial statement here, but is it? I mean, Jimmy Stewart just wasn't really a good actor, but people just liked him.
I thought for his time he was a good actor.
Okay.
I think the craft was a little different back in the day.
Can I ask though, because I'm not up on his work?
Yep.
Did he not just basically play the Jimmy Stewart in these movies? Like, I mean, Daniel Day-Lewis becomes Abraham Lincoln or becomes, oh God, what's the guy's name in There Will Be Blood? I can't say his name.
Daniel Day-Lewis?
Yeah, Daniel Day-Lewis. What's his character name? I was trying to say the character name in There Will Be Blood. I can't say the name. Anyway, doesn't matter. Daniel Day-Lewis becomes those people. Is Jimmy Stewart not just playing Jimmy Stewart in every movie? And he was such a big name that they just kept casting him in all these movies?
People could say that about Denzel Washington.
I mean, I guess there's some truth to that, but Denzel.
Well,
Denzel didn't play Denzel in Training Day. He didn't play Denzel in.
I mean, he did though.
Played ass Denzel.
Yeah. So look, to put it in perspective,
true,
though,
but I don't think that's the real him.
He has been nominated. Jimmy Stewart was nominated for 5 Academy Awards for Best Actor, and he won one for The Philadelphia Story.
Daniel says no one watches reruns of Jimmy Johnson races, but Wonderful Life is on every single Christmas. That is a great point. Yes.
That is one way to do it. I would go Jimmy Stewart here. If Jimmy Johnson would have more of a personality.
He didn't have much of a personality, but my gosh, did he win races and championships.
He's a forgotten guy, though.
He is a forgotten guy. But, I mean, I would say you want to be controversial here. All right? Rockstar, I'm admitting this is controversial before people melt down. If you're doing... I wish Dunaway were here for this. If you're doing the Mount Rushmore of NASCAR drivers, Dale Earnhardt Sr. is an automatic, Richard Petty's an automatic, and then Jimmy Johnson is in the discussion.
I think Jimmy Johnson would be on there.
I think he would be too.
I mean,
we've
got limited knowledge when it comes to that sport.
Yeah, but I think Jimmy Johnson's on it.
Would I say that about Jimmy Stewart?
As an actor, I know. I mean, you would not. So I think I'm going to go for that reason, Jimmy Johnson.
4th down.
Okay, weird one here. Cher, 78 years old today. If I asked you, and have you seen the side-by-sides like Cher now and Cher when she was like 38?
No, but
it kind of looks the same.
This is so random. I listened to a Cher song yesterday, and I know that comes.
That is random.
It is random, but
Turn Back Time.
It was not Turn Back Time. I was on 80s on 8. It was that song
that she did. She was dressed like a slut in the. No, that was the Battleship.
Yeah.
Turn Back Time.
Yeah, Turn Back Time. No, this was. It was on 80s on 8, and she and Bryan Adams did it for a movie. Not Bryan Adams, Peter Cetera. She and Peter Cetera did it for a movie. What movie was it? Hang on. Now it's going to kill me if I can't think of it. Do you remember the song I'm talking about?
I've got her pulled here.
After all. What movie was it, Rockstar? It came on 80s on 8 yesterday.
Looks like
she married Sonny Bono and Greg Allman.
I did not know she was married to Greg Allman.
Yeah.
I knew she was married to Sonny Bono, obviously.
Didn't last long.
Yeah.
With Allman. I bet that was what you would call a toxic relationship.
Yeah, Chances Are is the name of the movie. Chances Are. Have you ever seen that movie, Lance?
I have not seen Chances Are.
Stars Sybil Shepherd, Robert Downey Jr., Ryan O'Neal, and Mary Stuart Masterson. Chances Are does. This is what I think they would call a romantic comedy in the biz.
So anyway, I was going to go Cher at 78. Cher or Andy Reid.
Better
head
career?
Coach of the Kansas City Chiefs. So I'm just reading from the wiki here. As a solo artist, Cher sold 100 million records worldwide. She is one of a few artists to win 3 of the 4 major entertainment awards: an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar.
Ego.
Yep, and she has not won.
I bet she's got one too.
She has not won the Tony.
Yeah, at 78, I'm going to say she's not going to.
But still, man, having an Emmy, Grammy, and Oscar.
That's good career.
I'm going to go Cher here.
I've liked Andy Reid's work much more, but based on what you just said, I might have to go Cher.
Would that be the most random couple ever?
If Andy Reid and Cher ended up, like they were on a double date with Kelsey and Taylor Swift, that would be pretty random, yeah.
Well, the thing he's not sharing his surfing.
Right. Is that 4th down? That was 4? It's presented by Slice.
How about this, though? Cher, the only solo artist to have a #1 single on the Billboard chart 7 consecutive decades, from the 60s to the 2020s.
That's pretty impressive.
I mean,
that's a career that has stood the test of time.
That's what you would call consistency, right?
Yeah.
5 locations. Slice, the original Lakeview, Vestavia, Montevallo, Crestline Park, now in Edgewood. Get into the Bajaya brothers, created by the late Jeff Bajaya. His legacy continues to be celebrated by his brothers, Chris and Jason. Get into one of those locations. Get a slice and a salad today. Tell them the Next Round sent you. A local pizza, local ingredients. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
Rockstar, true or false? Jimmy Stewart was a bomber pilot in World War II. That trumps all, according to Rick.
Yeah, that is true.
That is true, 100% true.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew says, you going to compare top 4 actors to top 4 NASCAR drivers? It's what we do on 4 Downs. I mean, I don't know how else you do that. I mean, I'm not saying like...
Yeah, I mean, it might equate the top 4 NASCAR drivers of all time to the top 100 actors.
Yeah.
I mean, the craft goes way back, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when Jimmy Stewart was in his heyday, they were running on dirt tracks, weren't they?
Oh, yeah. Daytona 500 was half on the beach.
I mean, the first time he was nominated for an Academy Award was 1939.
Yeah. Again, 7 championships for Jimmy Johnson. It's kind of hard to argue against that. All right, Dan Wetzel will talk everything that happened to the sports weekend with us when we return. Inverness Country Club inviting you out for a membership invitation that is a fantastic invitation, by the way.
Jack Taylor just had his last exam this morning, so he is out for the summer.
Jack.
A lot of kids are out for the summer. You're trying to figure out what you're going to do. How about this? Inverness Country Club. Just a hidden gem of a country club. Golf course is fantastic. Dunaway and Brown played it just a couple of weeks ago, but they've got memberships that are going to fit everyone. Find your sense of community at Inverness Country Club. From the social membership, including a resort-style pool complex, full-service cabana and bar, live music on Friday nights, Sunday brunch. They've got the sports package with tennis and pickleball, golf, beautiful golf courses, childcare, major plus. I was speaking to somebody over the weekend. He said his wife worked from home. I said, how about this? We were talking about Inverness Country Club. Your wife can work from home, and you can have the kid right there on site with childcare. That is a huge plus. The best days happen at Inverness. Whatever your interests are, you can find it at the Inverness Country Club. Take a tour today of this unbelievable club. Call Aaron. Write this number down, 205-991-8608. That's 205-991-8608 or online, ICCalabama.com.
He always gives us good sports information and always makes us laugh. Dan Wetzel, Yahoo Sports, is next.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on The Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at The Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
If renting is putting a dent in your bank account, here's your sign from the universe that it's time to buy a new home. And who better to help you through the ins and outs of home buying than our friends at Mortgage Right. With Mortgage Right, you don't have to worry about becoming a short notice mortgage expert because they do all the heavy lifting for you. They're trusted mortgage professionals and they'll help you choose the right mortgage option and stand by your side every step of the way. Visit mortgageright.com/TNR to buy before renting runs you dry. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Every Monday, we do our best and worst of the weekend presented by Hemp Hill. In case you have missed it, our social media manager, Taylor Corn, little T, is across the pond right now. She just texted, checking in to give you all my worst of the weekend. The people sitting behind me on the way to Ireland were, in all caps, peeling hard-boiled eggs and cracking them on the side of I almost called law enforcement.
I think the hard-boiled egg.
She's talking about on a plane?
Yeah, I mean, look, so she was in London. And
that's right.
going to Ireland from London, I would think that that's one of their major appetizers.
Boy, I tell you, man.
So we get peanuts and pretzels.
They get hard-boiled eggs? Yeah. Yikes. Dan Wetzel, national columnist, Yahoo Sports. Scott is showing you a photo of a phone booth where Taylor has applied a next round sticker, though. And she's got an armload of stickers.
I like where her head's at.
And I do, too. She's promoting the show in the UK. So we appreciate that. Dan Wetzel's national columnist, Yahoo Sports. What's up, Dan? How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. Boiled eggs, fan or no?
I guess I don't dislike them, but I never eat them, so I don't know.
Okay, more important question. Cher turned 78 today. Better career, Cher or Andy Reid?
You guys are deep in May.
Oh, we are. It's May 20th, Dan.
Cher, I'm going to probably, I don't know, I'd probably go with Cher, but I don't know all the stuff she's done. But she's still, didn't she have a number one even, recently?
Yeah, we said this, Dan. So we do a weird thing called Four Downs, and when celebrity birthdays are in there, I pair them up with weird people, and that was where that question originated. But I just found out on the Wikipedia that she has had a song that is charted in the last 7 decades, from the 60s through the 2020s. And she's won a Grammy, Oscar, and an Emmy.
Yeah.
Number one, then. I mean, she beats Andy. Andy Reid's won 3 Super Bowls, but not until he got Patrick Mahomes. He got to another Super Bowl. Excellent coach. But 7 decades with a song, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean.
Anybody done that?
I don't know if anybody has done that. Rockstar, can you think of anybody that?
She?
Huh?
She's 78.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Yeah. I don't think anybody's done that.
I mean, can you think of anybody that have a number one in 7 straight decades, Rockstar?
Oh, probably like the Beatles. Somehow they just repositioned themselves.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
No, not like recent
They
stuff.
did come on to the 60s. Was 60, 70, 80, 90.
I mean, it's hard to do. I mean, I was ready to go Andy Reid until you gave me those 2 facts, and I had to double back to share there.
I don't think you can. Okay, so we'll hit you with some hard sports here. So Denver out. They lose Game 7 after blowing a 20-point second-half lead. They are the 5th consecutive defending champion to not even make their conference finals. I love that we've got parity in the NBA with all these young, talented dudes, but, man, it's pretty weird to see the T-Wolves, the Mavs, and the Pacers all in their conference finals.
Yeah, it's funny, too, because everybody who follows the NBA thinks they are the league is fixed for the big teams, right?
Right.
Everybody, they rigged the lottery, they rigged this, they rigged the refs, all that stuff, and then every year it's a new group, and it's like Minnesota. I mean, Minnesota's even smaller than Denver, probably, or I don't know about the size, but Milwaukee's good, the Pacers, all these stuff happens. Yeah, so you kind of long. It's hard. Everybody wants parity, right? Everyone wants their team has a chance. At the same time, it's like the sports are at their best when it was like Golden State versus LeBron or whatever, right? Big market versus big market, or the Lakers or whatever. But it's really proof that you can draft your way to a good draft will get this done, and that's what Minnesota did, basically with Karl Anthony Towns and Ant, and then they bring in Rudy Gobert, and they've fascinated how this is a defensive team. They changed kind of the rules in the NBA to focus on defense, in the middle of the season. If they hadn't done that, would this team still be this good? But I love how they're long and they defend. I would say the last time we had a defensive-oriented team be this good was the Pistons back in 2008. 04 and 05 when they won the title in 04 and went Game 7 in 05, with Ben Wallace and Tayshaun Prince and Chauncey Billups and all those guys. So it's kind of fun to see a different style of play be so effective too. And that's how they're down 20, but once their offense started going, the defense was going to be there, and they just sucked the life out of Denver and wore Jokic out. He looked exhausted at the end.
Dan Wetzel is with us, national columnist, Yahoo Sports, at Dan Wetzel on Twitter. And And you said wore Jokic out. You talked about the parity. This is the 6th straight year that the defending champion has not made it past the second round. I mean, they don't make it even back to the conference finals, which is the very definition of parity, Dan, but it is also very difficult to explain because, as I pointed out earlier, none of those teams are winning championships without transcendent great players. Those players don't leave, and the teams don't make it back. It's just strange.
Yeah, it's not like they're bailing. Yeah, you're right. There's a lot of good basketball players, though. I mean, there really are. There's a lot of really quality players, and they're spread out across the league, and so they kind of take turns. And you got to have, Denver had a great team last year, but they lost their depth. I think they had 5 bench points last night. I think I saw, and they really were down to 8 guys. And the depth kind of, I think, caught up to them against a really young Minnesota team. Although Minnesota, I think, was playing 7 guys. Actually, I'm looking at there's the box. So, yeah, really, only 6 Nuggets played double-digit minutes, and only 7 Minnesota players did double-digit minutes. So that's kind of interesting. You don't need a million guys to get this done. And if you're a little bit younger, maybe it helps. Like Anthony Edwards did not have a great offensive game, but he was just part of that defensive rotation. I mean, you got Karl Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert, and Naz Reid. I mean, that is a lot of length. That is a lot of size. A lot of defensive first guys. And like the Nuggets won because they were big. It's like the return of the big man. So really fascinating. Who knows? Minnesota, Dallas is going to be interesting, and then this obviously the Pacers moving on, beating New York too. So that's that'll be the other side of it. So probably not what the NBA wants, the NBA's media partners want, but it's for the league overall.
So, Dan, there was a time where we could remember if Pac-Man Jones, Mike Tyson, Lenny Dykstra, if any of those guys got arrested, you'd be like, okay, I get it. When you wake up Friday morning and Scotty Scheffler is getting arrested in Louisville, and then he goes out and he posts a 5 under 66, did not play well, fell apart on Saturday, but still played overall pretty well for a guy that got arrested Friday. First, what were your thoughts on Scheffler getting arrested and just the tournament overall this past weekend in Valhalla?
Like pretty well for a guy who got arrested. Like,
don't say that often.
Yeah, anyone's ever been arrested.
Did you see Max Homa's tweet yesterday? It was like, ultimately, I lost to a guy that was in jail Friday morning, and that's a bad look. That's a bad look for me.
I mean, look, John Daly's at that tournament. Tiger's at the tournament. Yeah, there's a mugshot of him out there. Rory is free from the divorce. He's running. Dustin Johnson, who knows what's going on there at any moment. Like the FanDuel odds on this were going to be pretty low. Scotty Scheffler is so dull. And I didn't cover this event, but I covered the Masters. And Scotty would come in the media room and do an interview after his round. And he's like, he will sit down and he would talk about how much he loves his wife. He'd mention her a bunch, and he'd go just talk briefly about the gang. And then most of his answers would descend back to, I have a personal relationship with Jesus. I've been saved. I have eternal salvation, all that. Which is great. Good for you. But, as a columnist sitting there going, dude, you got to work with me here. Like
I need something.
Happy for you. Okay. I'm happy for you. I got nothing against any of that. Good for you, but I cannot write columns about how much you love your wife. Like, that's just not going to, and how excited. Winning the Masters doesn't matter because I know I'll be eternally saved. Excellent for you, but I got to write about the golf tournament here, Scotty. Give me something. So now, all of a sudden, he gets arrested, and it's just like, I could not fathom it. He was the last guy, maybe Morikawa. He didn't do too much, but yeah, DeChambeau could have had. I mean, Rahm, Koepka, still loose cannon. Like, there was a million guys who would get into it, and we get Scotty Scheffler, and then they orange jumpsuit him. I mean, like, it is hard to be a police officer. Law enforcement is very hard. But, like, wouldn't at some point you get the guy in the car and somebody there goes, hey, he's Scotty Scheffler. Like, let's just come back and talk to him at 3. We know where he's going to be.
Yeah,
he is not a flight risk.
That's right. He's here for $20 million.
On ESPN, they literally have a camera following around. We can just watch from the station and then just come back at 3 and talk to him again about it. But no, orange jumpsuit in the jail cell, like.
Hey, but Wetzel, because you brought it up and you were talking about Scheffler and how much he loves his wife. Earlier in the show, I was telling Brown he's got to watch the new documentary on Netflix about Ashley Madison. Have you checked it out yet?
I have not. What's that? What's going on there? That's got to be ugly.
Well, okay, so you remember,
like the dating site or something? There was like some.
Well, you know, the list got dropped in 2015, and I had completely forgotten about it until they dropped this documentary last week. But there's so many other layers that you didn't realize what was going on in Ashley Madison. It is, it's filthy. I mean, you feel a little dirty after watching it, but there are some twists and turns that you can't imagine. So it's well worth the watch.
All right. We'll get it.
Dan has a history of helping produce documentaries, so you might appreciate it.
Well, I'm just, you know, it was one of those things.
Great idea for a doc, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, in 2015, when that list got dropped, you know, everybody was talking about it, and we knew people that were on the list. I'm sure you knew people that were on the list. What I didn't realize, Alabama was the #1 state for subscribers.
Oh, really? Yeah, I don't know if I did. I don't think I ever looked at the list, but I thought maybe I do know. I'm sure. How did anyone think that was going to work?
Well, I mean, that was the guarantee, and you'll see this in the documentary. Like, security was supposed to be their #1 thing. And there was even some kind of Scotty from the back can help me out here. Some kind of you could pay an upcharge to have everything deleted immediately, but they never deleted anything.
Oops.
You're kind of like counting on some guy out in the Silicon Valley, he's like the delete guy.
Yeah, the delete guy did not work that day, and the way everybody found out the delete guy wasn't doing his job is the entire list got released to the public, right?
Elite guy caused a lot of mayhem. Well, you know, don't do that. That would be my advice. Be like Scotty Scheffler. Although who the heck knows? I don't know. But I got to watch that. That's wild. I forgot about that. I heard there was that. I've forgotten all about that whole story. But I kind of always felt like anyone who believed this was going to work was probably. I mean. Yeah, not really thinking it through.
I would agree.
Alabama, #1 in Ashley Madison.
Oh, not even close. And I'm not talking about, you know.
What's going on down there? You guys got a little twist to you. That's what I like about it.
We can tell you our education, our obesity, our infidelity.
#1.
Yes, we do not stop touring #1 in everything.
We sure don't.
I want to party with Alabama, man.
We run hard. Hey, we've had you down here before. I remember you came over to in Tuscaloosa one year where we had such a random crew. I don't know if you remember this. It was back the early Saban days. Florida was in town. You were in town, and you came over to one of our tailgates, and it was like Verno and Clay Travis, and we had quite the crew.
No, they should have arrested us for that. That would have been more like a Scotty Scheffler getting arrested. That's right, Verno and Clay Travis and me and all you guys.
Was that when? Was that one of your buddies' bachelor parties, and y'all came to a Bama game? Am I right about that?
That was a different one.
Oh,
that was a different one. He never got married, and then he finally, at like late 40s, he had this girlfriend. So they were going to get married, but they had a child because they wanted to kind of get going, and so. When we heard about this, we immediately declared that there had to be a bachelor party. No wedding date was set, nor has it been set yet. So we had the bachelor party. There just never was an actual wedding. But they are still together.
That happens. It just normally involves Vegas, not Tuscaloosa. So that's it's very, very impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, we went Tuscaloosa. Well, it was the LSU game. I mean, it was a big game. Game.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, we had a bachelor party in Boston, and the bachelor didn't go, Dan. So
yeah,
I've been in that situation. But my wife's like, wait, Scott didn't go to his bachelor party?
Wait. But you went.
Yeah.
But I went, But hey, we had a hell of a time for him.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're just like bachelor party. Well, like, we didn't really care that he wasn't. Like, he's like, well, we haven't actually, like, gotten engaged or set a date. We're like, we don't care.
Yeah, we just
the
want to
bachelor party's not for you, selfish. It's for us.
We're going to the Bam LSU game. All right, he is Dan Wetzel, at Dan Wetzel on social media. Read him also at Yahoo Sports. And if you got a young reader in your life, Epic Athletes is a book series about some of the great athletes out there that is geared towards young readers. You can find a link to purchase those on Dan's social media page. Thank you very much for the time, Dan. Always nice talking with you.
Yep, take care, man.
All right, buddy. We'll see you soon. Dan Wetzel with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Don't forget this hour presented by Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. Champy'sChicken.com is where you find out more. You can also head down to 119 in Alabaster. Sterling and the gang, they have thrown the doors open there, and they're ready to serve you for lunch. From those great chicken fingers to the Mississippi Delta tamales, the great pool boys, all right there at Champy'sChicken.com. Champy'sChicken.com. There's no other way to transition to the story. It is a tough story to discuss, but there is a bit of an update on it. You might have heard over the weekend that Auburn's Brian Battie was injured in a shooting and has been in the hospital. Hugh Freeze just 2 minutes ago tweets an update asking for continued prayers for him, and then adds that there was a setback last night and he is still on a ventilator. Terrible, terrible story there.
Brother passed away.
Yeah.
I think the shooting occurred 3:30 a.m. I really didn't see much details about it outside of his brother had passed away and that he was in a critical condition.
And that's about all I've seen. This is more of an update than you've really gotten from anywhere else from Hugh Freeze, as he asked for continued prayers, just saying that there was a setback last night and he's still on a ventilator. So
yeah, and look, you don't want to speculate, but these situations, you just don't know how things accelerate to the point they do.
It's very sad, very, very sad. And, one life is gone and, this one apparently hangs in the balance. I mean, if he's in ICU on a ventilator, it's obviously an extremely serious situation. So you continue to pray for him and for the family. That update from Hugh Freeze, though, to update an Auburn player that is obviously in a very difficult situation. If we hear anything else, we'll let you know. But as Lance mentioned,
there's really no details.
Yeah, there's no details. Information has been very, very limited on this, and we have given you all we've got there. So that update, if there's any more on that, we'll pass it along, but not the best news that you are hoping for there. All right, coming up a little bit later on, Lance will have his locks out. I think I saw on social media you were 8-2 yesterday.
8-2 yesterday. Got 3 plays up today. All Major League Baseball. NBA does not get back cranking until tomorrow night. Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Indiana and Boston. We will have something on that. But yes, coming off an 8-2 weekend, we are now. So we had we dropped back in UFL this past weekend. We were 1-3. So we are now 16-7. Still really, really
impressive,
good.
Yeah.
We were 3-0 in match play yesterday at the PGA Championship. That was nice.
You've got a niche. I told you this earlier. You're good at all of it, but you're really good at match play golf in the UFL.
Well, the NBA's really heated up for the postseason too.
Hey,
so jump on board.
Doesn't matter. They all pay the same, right?
That's right. That's right.
Hemp Hill Services brings you Lance's Lock every single day.
Hey, again, make sure the unit ready to keep up with this changing weather. I think it's going to be in the mid-80s today. 205-229-2090. Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hempillservices.com.
Lance's free play today. The Red Sox get the last rest at lanceslock.com. The Red Sox, the free play, everything else at lanceslock.com, all presented by Hemp Hill Services. All right, when we return, we'll turn our attention to trash. That is next on the next round.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemp Hill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention the next round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemp Hill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemp Hill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service. Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Coming up on the Next Round, I mentioned Brad Crawford, 24/7 Sports, had 50 thoughts for the college football season. We've sprinkled a few of these in here throughout the course of the show. This one is not unlikely. I can't say that it is unlikely, but it is sad for a guy we like on this show. He says South Carolina, Lance, will lose 4 straight for the second straight season. He points out that the Gamecocks have made notable progress under Shane Beamer. But, as he mentions in October, Ole Miss, Alabama, Oklahoma, and Texas A&M all in your schedule. That is a very, very difficult November.
Yeah.
Or, October, I should say, for South Carolina.
I don't know about you. I have no expectation for South Carolina.
I really don't. I need to look at their whole schedule. But, I mean, I don't even know what I would consider I'll give you their schedule. You tell me what you consider
I think 8-4 would be a great year for,
it'd be a great
Shane
year.
Beamer.
I mean, they open Old Dominion. I mean, they jump right in, though. Old Dominion, then they're at Kentucky. I mean, they're an underdog easily in that game, right?
Yep.
2:30 ABC game. They host LSU. At least you host that game. You don't have to go to Tiger Stadium.
Right.
But still an underdog, likely, right?
Underdog,
LSU, South Carolina.
definitely.
You get Akron, so you're probably 2-2. And then after the bye, it's that October he's talking about. Saturday, October 5th, Ole Miss at home. Saturday, October 12th, at Alabama. Saturday, October 19th, at Oklahoma. Bye week, and then Texas A&M to start November.
Yeah, look, you could beat A&M, but the other 3 would be pretty massive upsets.
Right, if you beat A&M, that's homecoming. You beat A&M. I give you a 2-2 start.
So that would be 3-5.
Here's your finish. If you're 3-5, here's your finish. At Vanderbilt, there's a win, so you're 4-5. You host Missouri. That is a uphill climb for you.
Yep.
But a winnable game. But let's say you're 4-6. You've got Wofford. You're 5-6. Then you're at Clemson to go to a bowl game. And that's going to be a tough road trip at Clemson, obviously. I mean, it does. That looks like a 5-7 right there is what that looks like.
And then if you're Shane Beamer, I don't think there's any way you're on a hot seat unless you're 2-10 this year.
I wouldn't think so.
But if you are 5-7, then coming back for 2025, you are on a hot seat.
That's when you're on the hot seat. Yeah, you're basically you're probably not Billy Napier, but you're Sam Pittman. You know, you're on a hot enough seat. You're probably at the end of the year, you have to get the vote of confidence.
Back to our Drinkwitz conversation. There's no way you leave Missouri for South Carolina, is there?
I would not.
Better fan base,
no.
but it's basically the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you're.
And Missouri's had more success.
Yeah. I feel like you're ahead of South Carolina right now at Missouri. I mean, Missouri's going to start the year ranked close to the top 10. And if you're South Carolina, you're a long way off from there. Hey, I'll give you a couple more of those before we get to trash. Storm Restoration and Roofing is our guy, Greg from Pell City. Here's his number, 205-542-3531. Storms coming through left and right. If you've had any damage or you think you had damage, let Greg just climb up on that roof and give you an answer and maybe even an estimate. He's not going to charge you anything for that. Greg's just a good guy. 205-542-3531. We always talk about the storm damage. There are times you just need a new roof. I don't have any storm damage. I need a new roof, right? That happens over time. Greg can take care of that too. It doesn't have to be storm damage. Let him look at it and tell you, though, and give you an honest evaluation. 205-542-3531. Greg from Pell City on Facebook. 205-542-3531 for Storm Restoration Roofing. 36, number 36 from Brad. Mike Elko set up for success in year one. We just talked about Texas A&M being part of that South Carolina run. And we've also talked about this being a massive swing game, really for both teams, for Notre Dame to start the year. If they win that game, their schedule is so favorable for them on the backside, they could easily be in the college football playoff. But let A&M win that game, and now listen to what follows that. McNeese, at Florida, Bowling Green, neutral site Arkansas. I mean, Mike Elko, if he can find a way to beat Notre Dame, he's got a 5-0 start with Missouri coming to Kyle Field and what would probably at that point be a top 15 matchup.
Yeah, and I think Notre Dame is going to be a preseason top 10 team. I think that game's going to be right around a pick. I would say A&M might be a 1-point favorite. That's probably the way I would list it right now. So it's a game that it's, swing game.
Yeah.
But, yeah, if you win that game, their next most difficult game is going to be hosting Missouri and LSU both in October. Yep. You've got to go to Jordan-Hare.
I mean, it's not a killer schedule if you can get past Notre Dame. I mean, his road games are at State, at South Carolina, at Jordan-Hare. Jordan-Hare is a tough place to play. It's going to be at the end of the year. But, I mean, because you play that neutral site game, you don't have to play a ton of road games.
So, when I was talking to our friends in Austin last week, Chip and Zay, and we were talking about, I asked them, I said, can you imagine if Texas is 9-2, going to College Station with a chance to get that 10th win and more than likely get into a college football playoff, but A&M could play spoiler sitting there. That's a game you don't – I mean –
what a great storyline, though. I hope that is the storyline.
And I could see that happen. I think Texas is going to be really good. If they're 10-1 at that point, it probably doesn't matter.
But if they're 10-1, that's probly for a chance to play in the SEC championship game.
Yeah.
I mean,
10-2 sitting home.
Yeah, you're still in the playoffs.
Probably still in the playoffs. But if you're 9-2 – think about it, it could be double. It could be you win, you're in the SEC championship game, and more than likely in the college football playoff. But if you lose, you're out of both.
Yeah.
We can only hope.
We can only hope. That's what it comes down to. All right, at this time each day, we do trash as we get weird for a little while. Weirder than we normally are. Rockstar, hit that big button, please.
She don't hear half the shit that I tell her,
Yeah, because the way you talk is stupid.
If you don't hear it, how do you know it's stupid?
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
Hey, it is home buying season. Our friends at Mortgage Right, they are here to help. They were veteran founded here in Birmingham, offer loans throughout the country, and while the area they serve may have grown, their commitment to Birmingham and veterans has not changed. Before you take the next steps on a new home purchase or refinance, talk with the team at Mortgage Right. No cost or obligation to find out what you qualify for. You can get more information going to their website, mortgageright.com, or call the Birmingham office, Highway 280, 205-900-7200, NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender. Las Vegas restaurant has been forced to apologize after a Bluey-themed event it hosted left parents fuming and children in tears. Now, Dirt Dogs, popular restaurant chain across Las Vegas, put the free event on May 11th, promising face painting, games, sweet treats, and a chance to meet the much-loved Blue Hiller and her pals.
That looks just like Bluey. I don't know what they're pissed about.
I don't think it does.
See, I don't know anything about this cartoon.
Is Bluey wearing J's? Is he got a Jordans?
Yeah, just imagine a little cartoon. Imagine if it was SpongeBob and it's just a dude in a little suit that's obviously a dude in a suit.
Got two brooms behind him, not one.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, the brooms have not been used.
They have not.
Bluey, Lance, is a British dog.
New Zealand.
Is it New Zealand?
Kiwi.
Well, it says here the Australian children's cartoon has become an unprecedented success in the U.S., becoming the most streamed show across all viewing platforms in 2023. How do I not know what this is?
For little kids.
Yeah. Almost 3,000 people responded to Dirt Dogs' Facebook event, but when customers who had come down the street, they arrived when they greeted a Bluey character that one customer described just as a, quote, guy in a onesie. According to the disappointed attendees, face painting was being done by a non-expert staff member. Treats ran out before the children even made it inside. There were also complaints the venue was dirty, as you can see there, and the Bluey character was inattentive to the awaiting children.
It looks like Bluey had some fries, too. Like he's got a little plate.
Yeah, Bluey getting some lunch while he's there.
So does Cord watch him?
No, not really.
My little one had watched Bluey.
We ran into Cord I saw Cord on Thursday at my ex's house, and then we ran into Nancy, Sean, and Cord in the wild on Friday night at a local restaurant.
He likes to go into this arcade and just hit buttons, and like it was enough. Like it was 10 minutes, so I tried to pick him up, and he lost his mind. And then like
we tried to say hey.
Well, Jack
chased you down, but
and I was like, I'm so sorry. Like I said, he was screaming at the top of his lungs. I had to.
I was
going to
say for a minute, and that place was completely packed. Cord was the loudest person in the restaurant.
That's why I quickly removed him.
Somebody in the chat room earlier said, I saw Rockstar chasing his kid around in the rain at Taco Mama Saturday night.
Was that night.
Was that night? So you guys were in the pizza joint next to it. It's got the arcade.
It was Friday night.
It was Thursday
or Friday, whatever it was they said. Yeah,
They're
whatever.
all the same. Yeah, like I was chasing him everywhere, and I saw Jack out there. And we went there the next day, on the same stairwell. He calls Jack Jack's son because he's got a friend at school named Jackson. But he go, "Where's Jackson?" I go, "Cord, that was last night."
He does not live here. He does not live in the stairwell. Yeah.
Do you think it's funny when you see how big Jack has become?
He's been massive, dude.
Well, so we were at Children's Hospital South because he had to have a procedure on his eardrum a couple of years ago, and we thought it might have re-ruptured when he was swimming a couple of weeks ago. So the doctor came in, the ENT, and he was like, "My God, like you're the biggest patient I've ever seen." Because it's still Children's Hospital. He's 16.
My ear looked at.
But it almost looked like Buddy from Elf. It was really, really funny.
Well, bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad.
This is weird because I guess this is kind of split. I never thought about this. When you read to yourself, do you hear yourself?
I think I do.
Yeah,
I hear myself.
100%.
Yeah. I mean, I can hear my voice.
When you're falling asleep at night, do you have like an inner monologue, almost like having an argument with this person, what I would say, where you can hear your voice?
Yeah.
Some people don't have that.
Yeah, Maddie doesn't have it. We were talking about it last night. So,
interesting.
What do you hear as you read an article? Probably your own voice reading the words. Well, if you're one of the people with an inner monologue, that is, which could be less than half the population, yes, millions, probably billions of people around the world who do not hear their own voices or anyone else's in their mind. For those with an inner monologue, it can be frankly mind-blowing trying to imagine how to formulate thoughts or recall memories without a voice. And for those without an inner monologue, it's just as wild to imagine someone constantly talking in your head.
Yeah. I've got an inner monologue, so I guess that's the question, right? Do you or do you not have an inner monologue?
So when you sit down to read a book, do you hear yourself reading it while you're silently
reading
absolutely
it? I do. Do you, like if you're reading a biography? Okay, so I was recently reading a book about Ronald Reagan. And if I read a quote, do you read it in his voice? Like, do you hear it in his voice?
Dana Carvey doing his voice?
Well, I mean, I was alive for Reagan, so I could hear it.
No, I used to. This is weird. You remember people wrote notes back in the day when you were in school.
Yeah.
And I used to read. I remember the voice in my head would be the girl that wrote the note.
Yeah. Now, Dunaway is not here to defend himself, so I'm not taking a shot at Dunaway, but Dunaway will frequently read text. And he'll go, Brown, what do you think they mean by this text? And he'll read it, and he'll like, you said, and I'm like, well, if you read it with that inflection, it does sound terrible. But why do you think it was written with that inflection?
Because that's how I would respond.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it depends on the inflection you use.
I can't believe I'm even reading this. I mean, this is just this is getting greedy. The days of free refills at McDonald's may be over.
Oh no.
Like you go to certain joints and like if they've got like a homemade lemonade, then you don't get a refill on that.
Yeah, but if it's a soft drink like this,
any place orange juice is not a free refill.
Yeah.
But soft drink, this is literally pennies. According to a marketplace report, McDonald's will phase out its self-service soda machines by 2032. Takes a little bit of time to phase those out.
A lot of McDonald's out there.
Now, at that time, individual McDonald's locations can decide whether or not to charge for refills.
I will tell you this. There is a non-McDonald's. It's a local restaurant I have gone to, not too far from our studios here. And I like their product, and I don't mind going there at all. But when I first started going there, they had the drink machine turned towards the dining room. And they would hand you the cup when you paid. And they would hand you a cup of ice. They would scoop the ice, hand you the cup of ice, and you would fix your own drink. And I think for cost purposes, they turned it around.
Yeah, I think that's what McDonald's is doing. They're going to take it back into the restaurant where they give it to you.
That's right, but they don't charge for refills. But
I like
you know what it
doing my own
does?
drink.
But you know what it does? It eats up another employee. They now have to have an employee because everybody's coming up there saying, "Can I get more Diet Coke? Can I get more Sprite?"
But you know what that employee's not worried about like I make sure it runs for a little bit.
Oh yeah,
and maybe I've gotten used to that with the what is the machine?
Yeah,
that
I know what you're
sends
talking
out
about. I can't say the
1,000
name,
flavors. And if somebody's drinking cherry Sprite, I got to let that run a little bit before I can go to my lime Powerade. This seems really chintzy to me.
Yep. But that restaurant, I've just noticed, like, I think you were cutting cost by flipping the machine around so everybody couldn't just get their own drinks. But now you have to have a dedicated employee to stand there and fix drinks for
Especially
everybody. So
at peak times, when
exactly,
there's like 16 people in line. Can I just get a Sprite, please? Just refill this.
Or the other issue is now you've got your cashier because it's right by the cashier. So they're ringing up everybody's orders, and then they're having to say, "Sir, can I get you some more drink?" I mean, what am I supposed to do? I need more drink, right?
Well, I'll tell you this.
He
probably doesn't want me saying this, but we've our buddy Will and Taco Mama, like right after school, soft drinks are free.
He probably does not want you saying that, but he's
that.
just a
Well,
good,
I mean,
he's a
like
good member of the
kids.
community. I know.
Well, I mean, he
takes care of the kids.
He takes care of the
Because
community.
he's a good
Yep.
dude. But I'll
Do
tell
you think
this.
McDonald's has got any money, by the way?
I think they got $1 or $2.
Probably 20 grand at least.
Tell me if this would be wrong, though. From where you stand, you could still reach the drink machine, and there have been times, and I think I'm doing the guy a favor because he's swamped. I've pondered just reaching there and fixing my own drink. Do you think that's in bounds or
frowned
out of bounds?
upon.
Is it frowned upon?
I know you haven't seen the movie with Faye Dunaway and Mickey Rourke. It's called Barfly, but he puts his head under the tap.
Squeeze the juice.
Hey, I could do that with Diet Coke. I love Diet Coke.
I think Frank Stallone was the bartender.
Yeah.
I think I got that right. TikToker has shared a series of handwritten notes she found while staying at an Airbnb, leaving many viewers baffled. Joanna Anderson shared a now viral video explaining she was at a, quote, nice home, but was shocked to discover notes outlining additional charges for using basic amenities. This is when, like, you just don't pay it, right? This is going to blow you away, Brown.
Okay.
One note on the Wi-Fi router read, Wi-Fi is free on the first day of your stay, but will be charged at $12.67 per day per device thereafter.
How do they enforce that?
You don't. Another note on washing appliances read, the washing machine will be charged $6.34 per wash. No exceptions. Similar notes also stuck on the TV and pool tables. But Anderson revealed it got much worse. Other bizarre notes were scattered around the home. One stuck to a white fur armchair read, do not sit in this chair. It was my deceased husband's favorite one.
Hey,
what in the world?
I've got an idea here. Maybe don't put your home on Airbnb.
No.
Attached to the microwave, another note, no meat products or animals allowed. While the bathroom sink had, please do not take a shower or bath after 8 p.m. We're saving water. Another on the fridge demanded, this is a vegan household, respect that. Anderson recorded the call she had with the Airbnb host about the charges after leaving the location and receiving an additional $937.73 bill.
Why does it matter in terms of saving water if I shower after 8? Does anybody know the answer to that?
No.
Okay.
And why does it matter if you use a TV or pool or sit in a dead person's chair?
Well, no, I mean, none of that should matter, but the one about not showering after 8 o'clock puzzled me a bit. I mean, I'm using the same amount of water if I shower at 3 in the afternoon or if I shower at 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
it's the same shower.
I don't get it.
I don't understand that.
I'm going to say they're not going to get really good reviews.
Probably no.
Here are the top 10 most disliked celebrities of 2024, according to Ranker.com. There's going to be a theme with some of these.
All right.
Number 10 on the list is 6ix9ine. Quite the look.
Boy, I tell you, does he keep his teeth that color all the time? Or is this just
no, we switch them up every now and then.
Billie Eilish went fell off a building, then went to prison for a couple of years.
And fell in a pink jar.
And merged with Post Malone.
Yes.
Number 9, Kanye West.
Kanye's a polarizing guy, right?
Oh, yeah.
Times he's super popular and times he's super unpopular. Yeah, he's had it
Number
all.
8 on the list, this is just going to do nothing but ascend more and more. It's Meghan Markle.
Yeah, and I keep seeing this thing about she's got some sort of goods company that I think they sell candles and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like that.
She's marketing.
Yeah, but I don't think it has gone too well, and I think employees.
Everything they touch has gone well.
Yeah,
Her
I know.
podcast is
I know
going
this is
well.
very surprising, but
What did she assume she was going to be at? Which it wouldn't have surprised me if it wasn't her. Make $1 billion on candles.
I guess I think it's more than just candles. It's like home goods.
Yeah, but I know that
And maybe
Jessica
food.
Simpson, Jessica Alba, Kate Hudson, they've all become billionaires
selling candles,
different products.
But I also think they were at one point likable.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. Number 7 on the list, Jake Paul, another very polarizing guy.
Yes,
Him and Mike Tyson, boy, they're really.
I tell you though, I got to
talking back
respect
and
the
forth.
guy's hustle, don't you?
Oh yeah. Number 6, Prince Harry.
Oh, wow. So he's in front of her. I would think she'd be in front of him.
I would too.
I mean, I don't.
But maybe he's more disliked because she does have balls squarely in purse.
Yeah.
You're leaving the royal family. Okay.
All right. Where are we going? California. We're going to get our privacy.
One of the biggest dumbasses ever.
Yeah, really. That was a dumb move. I would think more people just kind of, I don't know if they feel sorry for the old boy, but I don't know that he's horribly disliked.
Number 5 on the list, Chris Brown.
All right.
His hat's on upside down.
What has Chris done lately that has...
I mean, beat Rihanna a
long time ago.
Yeah, they stuck with him.
Yeah.
Number 4 on the list, Bill Cosby.
Oh, well, I do know the answer to what he did.
Number 3 on the list, amazing that she's in this company and how far she's fallen, but Ellen DeGeneres.
Yeah, boy, I tell you what, she would have been among the most liked not 5-6 years ago.
With the money she's got and now that she knows everybody hates her, do you think she gets meaner?
I don't know, but
or do you overcompensate and try to act nice?
Hasn't she largely disappeared?
She had a Netflix special. I think she came back to stand-up comedy after her show left. I think she was going to return to that. I don't know what she's doing.
Yeah.
Very talented.
No, extremely talented.
Apparently not nice.
Yeah, but boy, you would have thought she was.
Number 2 on the list, Danny Masterson from that 70s show. I've never seen it. He got a little trouble, though, didn't he, Rocky?
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he's in jail right now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Isn't it kind of Bill Cosby-like?
Yeah, but the Church of Scientology kind of buried it. They wouldn't let them go after him, and they finally went after him last year.
Huh. And number 1 on the list, very timely, P. Diddy, Sean Combs.
I don't think that's going to change.
Have you seen the video?
I've seen the video. It's an old video, right?
It's 2016.
It's 2016.
I haven't seen it.
A lot going on in that video. They're in a hotel.
They are, and she's trying to escape going to the elevator.
He apparently was in the shower.
He's running it with his towel on, and he grabs her from the.
Yeah.
She's not allowed to leave.
Yeah, not a great video, Lance. But there is a lot going on in that video. Primarily him running down a hotel hallway in a towel.
Yeah, he's got a lot on his plate right now.
Yeah, there is a lot there. That It's Trash is presented by Slice.
Hey, if you're looking for a new home, our friends at Mortgage Right are here to help. Whether you're a first-time buyer, seasoned home buying veteran, their great service and low rates make the process easy. Speaking of veterans, veteran founded right here in Birmingham. So remember, whether you're looking for your final home or your first home, whether you have a big down payment or need 100% financing, Mortgage Right, one-stop shop for mortgages. Visit them online, mortgageright.com. Call the Birmingham office, 205-900-7200.
Chris says, hang on, can I charge vegans extra for staying at my rental? If you're charging non-vegans extra for being non-vegans, can I charge vegans for being vegans?
Apparently, you can do what you want on Airbnb.
Royal Payne says, if you're in the drive-thru, always order soft drinks without ice. It's still chilled, and you don't get hosed on the amount of drink. I just like having the ice in the drink.
I do, too.
It may be a head thing for me. It could be the same temperature, but I feel like it's colder if ice is in it.
Now, what do you think if you're going to get, like, say, if you're going to a joint that puts ice in their pitchers?
Yeah.
Like of margaritas, if you're like, I don't want any ice. You think they would do that?
They're going to say, no. The health department makes us put ice in that.
Yeah. I mean, really, what would they say? Because that really doubles the product.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm allergic to severely cold water.
So I don't want it cold at all. We want you to put ices in the glass, but not in the pitcher. Is that what you're basically saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Michelson Laser Vision, Lance, we talk about your hair. Michelson fixed your eyes a long time ago. You mentioned one of your pickleball guys.
Yeah. Greg from Pickleball told me, hey, I went to see Dr. Mark Michelson last year.
Are you Greg from Pill City? I'm Greg from Pickleball. Oh, okay.
205-969-8100. That is the number you need to write down. Stop procrastinating. If you wear the contacts or glasses, you're spending money each and every year. You're wasting it. One of the best decisions I made was going to see Dr. Mark Michelson more than 2 decades ago. Dr. Jen Michelson as well. Best in the business. 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. Ask about the pre-inflation pricing. For more information, michelsonlaservision.com.
Gary says go frozen margs. Are you a non-frozen marg guy? You ever go frozen margs?
The only time I ever went frozen margs is when Superior was open. I loved Superior's frozen marg, but I go rocks.
So your marg on the rocks, 100%, no frozen
100%.
margs. Yeah,
had a couple at brunch yesterday.
Yeah, I like it. I'll take it either way.
Because you're going to be shocked. I'm going to tell you. So Maddie, being from California, her mom was in town with us this weekend.
Yeah,
and they're big salsa snobs. And her favorite salsa in Birmingham, we had to go there for brunch, and it's a good joint. But I want to get your take on it.
Okay, all right. I'm sure I've been there, right?
Yeah,
I've been there. Okay. Don't forget, you want to talk margs. You know where you can get a good marg is right there at the bar at Champy's. Champy's world famous fried chicken. Go in there and grab some lunch. It'll make you one of those too. You can find them on Highway 119 in Alabaster, champyschicken.com. Sterling and the gang at Champy's bring you this hour of the next round.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
Hey, you. Summer's here. Time to get hot. And at New Balance Birmingham, that's just what we got. For a summertime vibe, see what's inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Maybe you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or TikTok. While we're changing the game yet again, Tyler's Telegrams has been developed exclusively for you.
Hi, this is the lovable boy you know as Tyler the Intern. I'm a businessman now. I will come directly to your door and tell you every time a new piece of TNR content drops. For the low, low price of $740,000, you can be notified by me, one of the biggest stars of The Next Round, about that thing you missed. Sure, the rest of those social media services are free, but so is radio, and we all know how well that's trending.
Tyler's Telegrams is currently operating exclusively in Bibb County. Other social media platforms are available everywhere.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation, 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them The Next Round sent you, 969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
The World Wide Web is a large place. Find all your favorite people and content in the same spot. NextRoundLive.com is full of wonderful tidbits about the show you know and love. Find our gear, listen to your favorite personalities, follow our socials, and enjoy your trip to NextRoundLive.com.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
All right, we continue on the next round. Skip Holtz, UFL Coach of the Year. He's got to be, right? I mean, there's no other coach you can give it to other than Skip. The guy never loses games.
They're going to name the award after.
Yeah, it's going to be the Skip Holtz Trophy one day. The Stallions win again this weekend. It has been more than a calendar year since they have lost a game. Here is the Stallions head coach. Afterwards, Birmingham wins over Houston 35-28, and here's what the head coach had to say.
And this is a great learning point for our football team as we go down the stretch here. Wanted to find a way to win. We talked about we weren't going to take this week off. We're not getting ready for somebody down the road. We're trying to go 1-0 each week. That's our approach, and we didn't treat this game any different than we did any other. It's a real testament to them, to how they played. And I think it was probably a really good learning lesson for our football team. Wasn't as clean as we want to play, wasn't as good as we want to play, but fortunately we were able to get out of here with a win, and we will come back. We're going to be a late night getting back tonight. But we will be able to watch this film with our team on Monday and hopefully fix some things and get some things straight and play a really good San Antonio team down in San Antonio next week. And tomorrow we get to hit, flush, rinse, and repeat. You know what I mean? That's where we are right now.
If you're confused by him saying late night when they get back tonight, they are actually not operating out of Birmingham this year. They're playing their home games there, but they're operating out of Dallas, Arlington area. So they fly back after the game out to Dallas, where it's kind of a centralized location, and then they just come to Birmingham for the games. That's unfortunate. I hate that that's the case, but it's the way the league has chosen to do it, and I guess as long as we still have a team, it doesn't matter. But my man doesn't lose games. I can tell you that.
I mean, it really is uncanny because I thought that league would be more balanced. And I know you got a good performance Saturday night out of the Roughnecks. At least they kept it close. But, man, the way they have dominated. What is his record now? Is it 24-3 or 24-2?
I believe it's right. I mean, it's incredible. And, I mean, it's been over a bunch of different, it's basically 2 different leagues. And he's dominated both of them. I mean, just a credit to him and the job he's done. We talk about it all the time. He's the biggest winner out of this whole league, I would say. I mean, I know I can't say his name, the guy that kicked in Birmingham that's at Dallas now. I mean, he's playing for an NFL franchise, so I guess he's technically the biggest winner. And Skip, you can't really say he's the biggest winner until he parlays this into something else if he wants to do that.
If he wants to do it.
Yeah. And
what kind of money do you think he's making?
$500,000? I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah.
I think I saw Bob Stoops got $500,000 for the XFL, but
I'm sure he got a raise last year. I'm sure he'll get one again this year if he wants to stay. But I mean, he seems like he's at peace.
Yeah, I agree with you. And $500,000 to coach 8-10 games, not have to recruit. You really don't have to draft. I mean, they handle all that for you. All you're doing is coaching. It's really the purest form of coaching. If you're Skip Holtz, I mean, he's just showing up and coaching a football team. Somebody else is building his roster for him. He's not having to go recruit. I don't know what's not to love. If you could make a little more money, that'd be nice, obviously. All right, let's do our mental health minute real quick before we wrap up on some college football from some more of that from Brad Crawford. Our friends at Johnston RV bring you the Mental Health Minute every day.
Yeah, look, May is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. My church is doing a series on mental health right now. Great lesson yesterday. A lot of people are suffering from this. According to a report, Mental Health in America, men appear to suffer with mental health issues like anxiety, depression, even substance abuse. At rates similar to that of women, but less than half of men will seek treatment. The rates suggest 1 in 10 will suffer, but less than half will seek treatment. Talk to your doctor today about depression and anxiety, and just start the conversation. You're not alone on this. Don't be embarrassed. I've suffered from this. I finally have peace and joy in my life. You can get to this point too. 988 is the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. If you need to talk to somebody there, 988. Very simple number to remember there. Talk to a friend. Talk to a therapist. Start the conversation today. And as Brown said, Men's Mental Health Medical Minute is brought to you by our friends at Johnston RV.
I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur is where you find them. They've repriced both those lots, and they know they've got the best prices in America. So confident, in fact, in that they will beat any price. You bring them on a comparable RV, that is a nationwide guarantee. I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. Always online, JohnstonRVCenter.com. That is JohnstonRVCenter.com. From Brad Crawford, just a few of these. Dylan Raiola, the college football true freshman to watch. For those that don't remember, Dylan Raiola is at Nebraska. And he says, while he hasn't yet been named the starter, sources around Nebraska say he's the future of the program, and that future begins very soon, hinting that maybe he starts early on.
He's going to start game 1.
You think so?
I really do. And look, it's really cool that, Matt Rule in year 2, what he's trying to build there. They were competitive last year in a lot of spots. The record didn't show it. Fully expect them to have a winning record this year. And if I'm a Nebraska fan, the way they have suffered for years and years and years, I want Raiola out there day one, because your hope is you get 3 incredible years from him, and then he goes on to the NFL.
The transfer quarterback carousel continues at Kentucky. It's going to be Brock Vandegrift after you've had Will Levis, Devin Leary, and now Brock Vandegrift. I don't know what you expect out of Vandegrift.
I've never really seen him. A little mop-up duty for Georgia, but I think the number I heard was $600,000 to $700,000. They paid him an NIL to come over.
Well, they must like him.
Sight unseen.
Yeah.
But I guess that's today what the market kind of demands. I really don't know what to expect.
I mean, I don't expect anything out of that offense.
Yeah, I mean, Will Levis should have been better at Kentucky. Yeah. Devin Leary should have been better at Kentucky.
Yes, all the above. This feels like Mac Brown's final season in Chapel Hill. He'll be 73 when the season kicks off, as Brad points out. Quarterback situation iffy following a guy that went in the top 4 in the draft. I mean, I could see this. I don't think it's any shock if Mac Brown retires at the end of the year.
I think I said this 2 years ago.
No, I think
and last year. Yeah. I'll go with Mac Brown retires this year.
If you're looking for another underdog or a team that's off the radar, he makes a case for this team. A plethora of returning starters, a quarterback primed to take college football by storm, a coach that wears emotions on his sleeve. If you're a fan of West Virginia, that should excite you about this season. Opening weekend, they play Penn State.
I'd love to see Neil Brown pull that one off.
Yeah, I don't even know. I've seen a number on it. I can't remember what the number is.
I think where is that game?
I think it is in State College. Let me double check on that though.
Yeah,
that is a determining factor, no doubt.
Yeah, if it is, they're probably 7.5 to 9 point favorite. Penn State would be, but if it was in Morgantown, Penn State's probably only 4.5.
Yeah, let me correct myself. It is in Morgantown. Yeah,
Penn State's probably only 4.5 point favorite.
They open with Penn State at home, Albany at home, at Pitt, and Kansas at home.
Look, after really middling years, the first 4 years at West Virginia, Neil Brown was on a major hot seat going into last year, and for him to be able to pull off 9 wins with that roster was impressive.
Yeah. So he is a guy that, if he could get those wins. Now, look, that schedule doesn't let up. Even after the bye, they got Oak State, Iowa State, Kansas State, and Arizona.
Yeah,
that's a tough stretch of football right there. So he's got to survive. After he gets past the second bye week, though, it opens up a little bit for him. So, I don't know, interesting team in West Virginia. Penn State game's what starts it all for them. All right, that's going to do it for us on the show today. Dunaway scheduled back with us tomorrow. We appreciate you joining us on the next round. We'll do it all over again tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. We'll see you then. Have a great afternoon.